live slowly.
Let's see.
And we should be on. Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I had to skip one stream because I was too optimistic about finishing my Sonic movie Dissected. And I still haven't finished it. Because I keep underestimating how much work these damn things are, and I'm losing my motivation. I hate working on them.
Nah.
But yeah,
I'm sure you'll get it done.
If I want to. But yeah, I can show a preview so far what it is. Maybe someone has feedback.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So
Little sneak peek, yeah.
I guess so. So I think it's about 20 minutes long or so. So but, maybe we'll do that later. I guess now we have our talk. And then we finish up by showing a preview. But yeah, hello everyone. Luke, how are you?
Oh yeah, I'm really good. I just came back from a day trip to Mount Fidget Castle in Stansted, which is like a Norman village, which is a Norman castle, which is like a Mott and Bailey style castle, showing what life was like 1,000 years ago with old peasant villages and peasant houses, and it was quite nice. You also got like animals running around, like deer, goats, ducks, geese, and also on another side you got this huge toy museum which has lots of various has war memorabilia and old action figures and this huge collection of Star Wars action figures. And also there's this like horror experience where you're given a lantern, you have to go through these dark corridors while animatronics like go bleh at you. But yeah, it was quite fun. It was kind of like being on the set of this old children's program we used to watch called Maid Marian, which had this location called this peasant village called Worksop. But yeah, it was quite nice.
Yeah, glad you had a good time. My volume is still low. I'm gonna play around with it. Melting Man, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Just been keeping myself busy with projects and everything. And of course, recently I've been having fun playing Klonoa Fantasy Revere now that it's finally released.
Okay, it doesn't ring a bell to me.
That new Klonoa remastered game.
Oh, Klonoa.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, they remastered the first two games, so finally we get to play Klonoa 2 on newer consoles and not have the game be stuck as an exclusive PS2 game.
That's good. I only played the Game Boy Advance games so far. Blasphemy, I know. I wasn't a big fan of it.
Yeah, you're kind of surprised you haven't seen like Klonoa fans come and pester you, like, "Oh, buy the collection, do it now!" Because that was what Twitter was going on for a while, and I did kind of join in where I posted a few pics advertising the, get ready for this game coming out.
Captain, how are you? Had a good week, month?
Yeah, for the most part. It was 4th of July a few days ago, and so my dog didn't like that, but... Yeah. But, yeah, I've been getting into some new games lately. I started playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland. So surprisingly enjoying that as much as I am. And... Oh yeah, so, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game that's coming out, it's a remake of the old one, announced my favorite characters being added to the roster, so that's exciting.
That's always good news, yeah. Anyway, for the viewers, I have to disappoint you, Cream and Vanilla won't be featured much on our channel. Melting Man, why did you put them up in the preview picture?
Well, that's because I thought we were going to talk about the Sonic X episodes that introduced Vanilla, but apparently that's not going to be the case today.
Sorry, I'm lazy. I've been too busy with Sonic Movie Madness. Oh, I wish.
Sonic Movie Madness!
Sorry.
A remake?
Dissected.
My god.
And of course, Ewan. I keep forgetting about you. I'm such, such a great friend. How was your month?
Been alright, though. It's becoming a lot hotter here, so trying to stay cool.
With us, you're always cool.
I suppose there is something me and Ewan could be happy about. We're finally getting rid of Boris, that stupid clown.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, intense political week. Jeez. So he finally screwed up one too many
They
times.
finally caught on that he's such an incompetent prime minister. It's like, okay, we'll get rid of him now.
Yeah.
At least he doesn't go, I am Parliament, and tries to get his lightsaber out.
No, he's just there talking about rhubarb farmers.
Rhubarb farmers? What?
It's basically just a reference to a speech he did, like, all the way back in, like, before the 2012 Olympics when he was opening the swimming pool, and yet during his speech he just spent most of that time talking about rhubarb farmers.
So he's literally going rhubarb, rhubarb, rhubarb.
The farmers added to it. Like all the rhubarb farmers basically rubbing all their rhubarb along all the beams and such. You know, something like that.
Very nice, rhubarb.
Yeah,
These
very
boys
nice.
is fun. Man,
And
you
never
guys
eat
have the craziest premieres. Sorry, what was that?
Prime ministers.
Prime ministers, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course in the Netherlands we also have our drama going on. So I'm fine. So it's far away from me, but yeah. Not sure if I want to comment too much on it because I'm not much of a political guy.
Ewan, Sylvia's asking if that speech that was where that camera was aimed at a duck.
Dunno. Been a while since I last saw it.
Well, I bet the duck was more interesting.
Probably. Maybe the duck had rhubarb.
Yeah, maybe have the duck run for new prime minister.
Depends
Very
on what duck it
nice.
is. Donald Duck or Daffy Duck.
Ed the duck.
As for drama and politics, I think the less Melting Man and I have to say, the better.
Yeah, me and politics just don't go together. It's like with me, it's kind of like, oh, talk about politics, and I'm just kind of like, I don't get it. So yeah, that's why I don't really get into political discussions. It's not really my
Well,
thing.
that too, and the fact that things are just getting crazier. But let's not talk about that.
Things definitely are crazier. But yeah, we're going to talk about silly hedgehog stuff instead. So we leave
Yay!
we'll leave politics to the adults. They're just a
Wacky
matter
Blue
of-
Hedgehog time. Whee!
Exactly. So we had a bunch of new Sonic Frontiers news. Anyone wants to talk about that?
I'll just get mine out of the way. So yeah, the Nintendo Direct Mini that a lot of people have been saying like, oh, this is being showcased better than how IGN's handled it, da da da. And yeah, with the new footage from Sonic Frontiers, well, my reaction to that is pretty much the same as how it's been with every other reveal for Frontiers, which is just, oh, that looks neat. But I'm still not gonna play it. And besides, why would I bother wasting my time with this shit when I already have better alternatives, with the official stuff like the comics or the movies? But that's just me being extremely cynical.
Quite so, yes. Oh well, at least Sala's the most optimistic of our group. So you're happy about the cyberspace levels and a new battle move?
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially the freaky looking city one. That looks so interesting. I want to know more about it. The Green Hill, fuck it, whatever. But the city one looks so cool.
I'm so amused everyone calls it the city level, even though you don't see any buildings. It's just it's just a road. Might as well have been a desert road. You don't know.
That is a fair point.
Yeah.
But I'm just being pedantic,
It's more like a sky highway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very neat. Yeah.
I suppose with the number of roads, it's like a city where all the buildings are invisible. But
Then again, now I'm looking at the background. Maybe I see a couple buildings in the shadows, but maybe that's me.
Yeah, I don't know. The level's kind of giving me a Route 99 vibe from Sonic Advance 3, but I've been hearing people say that it's supposed to be based off of a level from Sonic Unleashed or something.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It does kind of remind me of Empire City from Unleashed.
I mean, because I think the concept of the whole cyberspace thing could be interesting because there's not as much sort of logic involved. Why would this structure be built here? Kind of like how you would say that in one of the Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 city levels in which they had all these like roads and loop-de-loops, and yet you're wondering like what sort of vehicle would be going along that loop-de-loop and all that sort of such. But in cyberspace, it's like, you know, seems like there's no real logic to it, and that's kind of what I feel like is ideal, really, because like no logic means you could go mental with the whole sort of level design and such. But since it's a Sonic team we're talking about, not holding my breath, they're going to make anything like spectacular.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. Like, if they're gonna do that, that's great, but then, you know, utilize it. Like, Psychonauts have been playing that. Also has that excuse, like, well, it takes place in people's brains, so levels don't have to make sense. They're just, like, weird, fractured, you know, daydreams or thought processes. But then they use that to their advantage to have all kinds of crazy mashups, like a hospital turning into a casino, or, you know, someone's fears being represented by a game show. Like, they have a lot of fun with that. So if Sonic does a lot of that stuff, and the highway level does seem to take advantage of its weird stuff, so that case, good usage. But yeah, Green Hill Zone doesn't look very special to me. It just looks like regular Green Hill Zone. So it depends. I hope they use a lot of creativity with it, but I have little faith. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, because I've been hearing talks like the story to this game involves like Sonic and his friends arriving on the island, and they got separated, and apparently they all have amnesia and don't know who they are, so they have to, you know, collect these, I don't know, gears or whatnot to collect memories. So I guess that would make sense with the whole cyberspace stuff, with all the weird twists and turns, yeah.
One interesting rumor I heard is that since Sonic also has his, like, also has amnesia, that the cyberspace levels are about him, like, remembering or fixing his own memories. Like, if they do something with that, it could be cool if they utilize it in the story, but we'll see. But yeah, that's the most interesting thing. They say that all the characters have personal issues they have to deal with. So apparently the missions we're going through are actually going to delve into their characters. So if they do that, that would be very good news, because, you know, the characters desperately need a little, you know, focused for once, because they've been so, like, dumbed down the past decades. But yeah, we'll see. I hope they're actually gonna do something with it and don't just have it as excuses to have just a bunch of blocks in the sky. We'll see.
Feels like this game probably might reestablish the characters and whatnot if they're going through the whole, like, traveling through memory lane and whatnot. So who knows? Perhaps Member Green Hill Zone will become canon after all.
Who knows? But yeah, it has a lot of potential. But then again,
I can imagine it when you eventually parody this movie. It's going to be similar to Sonic Generations in minutes, where you're like, "Hey, remember all your worst games."
Oh yeah, and of course I did the YouTube poop edition on one of the scenes. The whole, you know, up next, Amy's American Page 1. That game doesn't exist. Oh, but it does.
Oh, but it does.
Oh, Melting Man's still hoping for obscure references.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's probably just going to force you to make that reference in your video.
Probably.
Do it or die, Roger.
But it is a good point. Usually you remember your worst experience is better than the best. So if it's really about jolting Sonic's memory, then his, you know, the parts where he had a lot of pain and misery should have been the focus. Like,
yeah, that is kind of the sad truth, like, especially with the internet, you know, like, with entertainment and stuff, like, you know, it's like, oh, you know, positive stuff, we're looking at the history stuff, no one gives a shit. It's all about, like, the negative stuff. Like, that's kind of also why I've been annoyed with how people treat Archie Sonic, because, you know, like, oh, they bring up Archie Sonic, and the only thing they talk about is, oh, Ken Pender sucks, Ken this, Ken that, completely ignoring all the other writers. Like, seriously, there's a bunch of people on Twitter or so that believe that Archie Sonic's entire run was only done by 2 guys.
Ouch. Yeah, it's a sad truth, but only things that are bad are memorized or focused on. That's how our brain works, sadly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to talk about the new characters revealed for Sonic Forces? Sonic Frontiers! Jeez, I keep calling it Forces for some reason. Yeah. Why did they supposed to start with an F?
Maybe it's like a sign of things to come, like, you know, how everyone types F in the chat. So maybe it's like N for Sonic.
I hope not.
but I mean, like, obviously, like, the in the picture, there's like these little sort of stone characters, and I mean, like, from the clips we've seen so far, that there's all those little piles of rocks that have been stacked up, and yet sometimes next to those piles of rocks, you'd see like little sort of rock creatures basically dancing around them, and presumably that's like the local inhabitants of the island, maybe.
Yeah, I've heard some people say that they look similar to those creatures from Zelda, like the little
the Koroks.
Yeah, those things.
Yeah, in Breath of the Wild, you have to like find like 1 million of them throughout the overworld and go, "Yeah, you found me!" And after you collect them all, your big reward is a golden turd.
Breath of the Wild, really? Oh, that's the last thing this game needs. More references to Breath of the Wild. Ouch.
Yeah. Although looking at the rock character on the left, it kind of resembles a Chow for some reason. Like
Chow
being like, "Oh dear." Oh.
Well, it looks more like those pet rocks you get in stores. You could put googly eyes on or something.
Yeah, that'd be pretty morbid. Like, oh, chows die, and then this is what they look like, the tombstone. So basically pulling off a Cuphead move.
And I'm putting a googly eyes on their gravestones. Perfect. Dark humor. I love it. But yeah, I guess we're through all the Sonic Forces news, so I guess we're gonna have to wait for a while before we hear something new. So it's June.
Because who doesn't love Forces?
Did I do it again? I am doomed to keep making that mistake. Just
I guess the game reminds it too much about Forces. Like seriously, like even the new main baddie, the girl sage whatever, like even her design kind of looks like a Infinite knockoff.
I hope she.
Whenever I see her, I keep thinking of that AI girl from the Resident Evil movies with because of the red AI thing, and I can imagine her saying like, "You're all going to die down here."
Ooh.
Been a while since I last seen that movie. Well, for good reason.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of it.
Well, no, just haven't really been seeing it on TV lately. And I don't feel compelled enough to get the DVDs and such for it. So yeah.
Fair enough.
And I haven't seen any of the Resident Evil movies. No.
Neither have I. How bad of us. Oh well.
Yeah, and also, sorry, you go ahead.
I was just going to say I have seen them, but it was a long time ago. I remember very few details about them.
You sound like a soldier remembering his time in the war.
Well, I was just thinking one of the few memories I have is Nemesis becoming a good guy only to die immediately.
What a waste.
Yeah.
Oh well. Movies.
As I was going to say, I think they're going to establish Sage as the main bad guy, and then Sonic gets through to her like, "Oh, life is so much better." You know, like how Sonic convinced Merlina at the very end that all things have to go, and she realizes the error of her ways, that sort of thing. And then Eggman will probably turn up and say, "It was me! I'm the true mastermind!" And then he becomes the true final boss, and yada yada yada. He goes away, that sort of thing.
Who knows? It's possible.
So yeah, just repeating the Rush ending from Sonic Lost World.
Would be interesting to fight Robotnik in this game, since Sonic has all these more flashy fighting moves. So it would be the most brutal fight with Robotnik ever.
I mean, I can't imagine he uses the AI himself, and he turns himself into this giant Titan AI monster robot creature.
Yeah,
like the ending of Sonic 2.
Yeah, exactly, kind of like that. Yeah.
Someone in the chat brought up that since Chow are water elements, that maybe those new creatures are like Chow, but then the earth element, which could be a neat concept, I suppose. Bit late to introduce it now in the series, but better late than never, I guess.
That seems to imply there's also Fire Chow and Air Chow.
Yeah, you gotta wait another 20 years for the Fire Chow.
Yeah, you'd think Blaze has a couple of them laying around her kingdom. Maybe if you actually once visited her, that'd be cool. Who knows? Yeah. Also, Sonic Origins is finally released. Anyone bought it and played it?
Nope.
Not yet.
No?
Suppose.
None of us?
I think
No.
most of us are just waiting for the suitable price drop to make it go like, all right, I'll buy it.
Oh, I think we're all disqualified talking about Sonic since we all none of us bought this thing. Oof.
Nah, all we can do is just base it on what we've seen from other people from playing it.
Yeah,
I intend to buy it. I just am. I gotta take care of some other expenses first.
of course. Even the biggest Sonic fan must have better priorities. That's true.
Yeah, so we can't really technically talk about Sonic Origins, but we
Yeah.
can talk about everything else related to it, like how one of the developers immediately jumped out and say, "Hey, Origins is terrible. This is not what we turned to Sega." Da da da.
Yeah, just when I was surprised that they actually did hire What's the name of it again?
Headcanon?
Headcanon. There we go. Like, because there were already rumors that they had a fight with each other, but then they're like, no, they actually did work. I was like, oh, that's good news. And then they immediately start a fight yet again. Oof. Yeah, that's sad to hear, but yeah, predictable. I'm not sure if I want to buy it yet. One of the most interesting things about it was submission mode, because I like the idea of new level design, but I look at it, it's like immediately Sonic Forces style blocky level design. It's like, wow, Sonic Team, even when you actually do have the physics of the classic games and all the assets to make actual level design, you still can't do anything but throw up blocks in the air.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that one clip you're showing of Knuckles gliding about, I'm just getting more of a Sonic Advance sort of vibes or Rush.
Yeah, a bit of an advanced vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it has some of that there too, yeah. I love how they don't even have blocks for the relevant level. It's just these generic blocks they use in all the levels.
Yeah, it's like just placeholder bits. It's like, you know, like the levels are all still the same. We're just going to add these blocks here and there and just block off areas just so that you don't go too far.
Oh well. Oh, still having extra level design is appreciated, even if.
But also seeing also some like exploits, as it were, in some of the games, like how one person basically jumps into like the first giant ring in like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and they restart just as the screen goes white, and then they end up like jumped all the way into like the hidden like palace zone just to fight Knuckles and such.
Oh, crazy. Man, those Sonic fans, they know to find every single glitch. Jeez.
Well, it didn't take
Speedrun
them
of
that long.
paradise.
Yeah, it didn't take them that long to even add the mods. It took them like less than a few days.
There you go. So, hey, at least through mods, this might be useful. Then again, I found it more valuable to use mods on Sonic Mania, because then you actually have a good engine. Well, this is just the classic Sonic games again. One thing that does kind of bother me a bit is the cutscenes keep using Amy as if she's one of the main 4 characters, yet she's still not playable. It's like, why you keep implying she's the main character if you're still not giving her any kind of attention or game value? She still is kind of cameoing at most.
Yeah.
Oh well, nitpicky, I guess. But
I don't know, maybe there could be like an eventual plus release.
perhaps.
You know, because you know, like they released, because obviously because originally they said like with Mania they weren't going to have any sort of DLC, but later on they ended up adding the DLC with like Mighty and Ray. So I mean, it could be inevitable that we could one day get a plus version of Origins with Amy being playable and maybe some other characters.
Knuckles in Sonic CD.
Well, I
Yeah.
hope so, because I remember
And
one of the...
one thing I do want to think about is that if Amy is playable, what kind of a unique ability would she have? I mean, would she have like some kind of hammer, or maybe use some sort of card ability, that sort of thing?
Would be cool to use his tarot cards as like Shuriken. She's like Shinobi. But
No,
probably.
he gets a card out and he uses some sort of different ability each time.
Ooh, that'd be cool. But yeah, probably they're gonna just use her from Sonic Advance. That's the most obvious.
Probably
Yeah,
something
I just hope they have like a new edition, because like I remember one of the big points they advertised Origins, like, oh, new playable characters, and so far that statement's just a flat out lie, because there are no playable characters, especially if you play the mobile phone ports of the Genesis games. So yeah, maybe Amy will be playable in a future DLC or whatever.
Did they advertise new characters? Because then the only special ones are Tails and Sonic CD, which is from the mobile game, and Knuckles and Sonic 1 and 2, which you could already do in the original Genesis, so neither's really that special.
Well,
yeah. Well,
you couldn't play Knuckles in Sonic 1.
Oh yeah, that's true. Fair enough. Okay. That's
one thing I could bring up is that when Amy was first introduced, she didn't have like any weapon ability because her hammer wasn't introduced until Sonic Adventure. So in the Fleetway Sonic comics, they had her be some sort of marksman where she had like crossbows and bows and arrows and that.
Yeah.
Actually, Amy's hammer first appeared in Sonic Fighters.
Oh right, okay.
But yeah, it's still later, so yeah, it's still true about Sonic Fleetway. They had to improvise.
Yes.
Exactly.
Poor Luke, making a faulty statement immediately. 100,000 Sonic fans and queuing up like well, actually,
that's more of my thing when it comes to me correcting people on Twitter about like RG Sonic stuff. Like, I mean, there's already people that think that Fleetway Sonic and
I guess
RG Sonic are the same thing. It's like the one thing that I keep commonly seeing them. It's like the one thing I keep commonly seeing the most is that one page where Tails is about to like assassinate Robotnik with a sniper rifle or something, and people are like, "Oh wow, Archie Sonic was so whack back then," and I keep correcting like, "No, that's Fleetway Sonic, not Archie Sonic." It's sad. It's a sad life being an Archie Sonic fan, cause nobody reads the Sonic comics.
And the fact they could like, no one ever, and the fact like. The radical different art style with like Robotnik and with like the Fleetway and Archie, and yet it never connects with them. Like realizing that these are two different comic series.
Yeah.
Oh well, eventually we'll get through them in this stream. Although I'm pretty sure everyone who listened to the stream already knows all this stuff, so it's not like the newbies are watching this. Yeah. That's the problem with obscure information. Very few people knowing all the details. So. Melting Man is a good career forward, telling everyone, well, actually, about hundreds of things.
Yeah, well, with mainly RG Sonic, because most of the time, a lot of people are too lazy to actually do the damn research and just listen to, I don't know, the Game Grumps or some other asshole rambling on like, oh, I've read the RG Sonic comics, even though they're just flat out lying.
Yep, very nasty. Anyway, Luke, you wanted to say something about the new Monkey Island?
Yes, they just properly announced the next big Monkey Island game by Ron Gilbert himself, because he finally managed to acquire the license, and now he'll be able to make the third Monkey Island game he always wanted to make, set after Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge. But the reception was, well, very negative, because they really hate the art style because of how it looks very cheap, very basic. It kind of likes generic corpo art, but I don't really mind it. It kind of looks like a storybook, and it has kind of a similar tone to the first two games. I mean, the abuse got so bad that Ron Gilbert decided to close off his blog and not tell anyone any new details about the game anymore, which I thought was quite sad. In a way, it kind of reminds me of when Wind Waker was first introduced, because when we saw the Space World demo with Link and Ganondorf fighting, we thought, oh wow, is this what the next GameCube Zelda is going to be like? And then we got this toon-looking Link, and then was like, what the hell is this? But I also heard that even Miyamoto wasn't really a fan of the design, but then Wind Waker was released, and people really liked it. I mean, whatever happened to judging a book by its cover, or in this case, a video game by its graphics? Because this game could have a really good story, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not sure. Ron Gilbert has a tendency to be very meta, so I'm not sure if I'm going to like it.
Yeah, the Monkey Island games do have kind of like meta humor to them.
Well, not so much meta humor, but just completely break down the story. I mean, Monkey Island 2 literally ends with the story just disappearing and all of a sudden being stuck in a theme park, and like the whole game was just a fantasy. So, and he did it again with that other game he did later, Tumbleweed Park or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, so we'll see. But I don't really trust him. He tends to be a little too meta.
I think also one of the biggest other complaints is that the animation looks very cheap. It kind of looks like a Flash mobile game, which I can see in like some parts. So look, it looks very cheap. But I mean, I remembered like when the special editions of Monkey Island 1 and 2 came out, and I mean, I remembered like how Guybrush's haircut in the first game looks awful, but there are mods that would fix his hairstyle. I remember the animations, they were trying to mimic the original pixel art animations of the first game, but it kind of looks a bit stiff, especially with the talking, like with that. But I didn't mind those games at all, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about Monkey Island. I think pretty much every single game is a completely different art style by now. So I guess if anything, it just continues to joke by changing the art style yet again. I mean,
I remember when I first played Escape from Monkey Island, and I felt the 3D graphics looked by today's standards, looked a bit dated.
Well, not just that, but I think the actual art design really changes a lot. I mean, the first game is super realistic, and then the third game is super cartoony.
Yes.
That's always been my favorite, Curse of Monkey Island. I kind of wish they continued with that.
That's one of my favorites as well, yeah.
Yeah, this art style. It does take a lot of time to get used to it. I have to admit, I was kind of taken aback too. Although at least the atmosphere is still pretty good. So it's still
and also got me thinking, like, what other games, like, when they first revealed, people really didn't like the look of it, but they turned out to be really good when released.
Sonic Frontiers. Hopefully. Well, we're still in the first phase, but let's see if we get to the second phase.
Yeah, I don't mind the art design of Monkey Island, though. That's probably just because of my lack of knowledge of the series. Although
Blasphemy!
I did recently get the entire Monkey Island games thanks to the Steam Summer Sale, so one day I'll be able to be more familiar with the series rather than just stick with Poker Night at the inventory and actually have something in common with Luke to talk about.
Yeah, they have to like match up all the like insult sword fighting remarks and that.
You fight like a cow.
How appropriate! You fight like a dairy. No, it was you fight like a dairy farmer, and your response is how appropriate! You fight like a cow.
Oh, I screwed up. Classic, yeah. Okay, so Sala, the captain brought us pointed to us how Ian Flynn has this typical way of writing how Sonic laughs.
Oh yeah.
You wanted to talk about that? Ian Flynn's long time no see.
I mean, sure, I guess. I just saw like a post on Reddit. Someone took panels from 4 different Sonic comics written by Ian Flynn, and in each of them, Sonic is making the same laughing sound.
Yeah, we were kind of wondering how to pronounce it, and we all did a little recording of it. So right now, I'm gonna horrify all our listeners and torture you by showing us what our interpretation is of how you should pronounce these.
Woohoo! Ha ha! Woohoo! Ha ha! Hee hee! Ho ho! Wah ha! Ha woo!
Woo hoo ha ha! Hoo hoo ha ha!
Woohoo! Ha! Ooh! Oh!
So there you go. You're welcome for this beautiful artist audio art here.
I don't think that audio even played.
No, the audio didn't play? I'm embarrassing myself again.
No, hold on. Oh, yeah, never mind. It was playing. I just had the live stream video muted.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it was playing on stream. We couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's Ian Flynn's own long time no see, I guess.
Yeah.
So another thing to look forward to in Sonic Frontiers, if any of the characters gonna say woohoo haha again.
Yes.
Then we finally officially know how it's pronounced.
Yeah, even though you don't know how to pronounce Ian Flynn's name right.
Hey, at least I said Sonic Frontiers instead of Sonic Forces, so shut up.
There you go. Progress.
Some progress indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go into Fleetway, there was one other thing. Melting Man, you wanted to talk about the return of 3D platformers.
Oh yes, with with the whole games that we've been getting for the past few weeks, whether they be like remasters or ports or like even sequels, it really does feel like we're kind of entering this renaissance of the return of 3D platformers. Because you got games, like Crash, Spyro, and of course recent Klonoa, Serdan, Pac-Man World is getting the remastered treatment, which I'm really looking forward to.
Psychonauts 2, really awesome.
Yep, Psychonauts 2. Then, of course, Banjo-Kazooie got ported to the Switch. Glover got ported to Steam and other PC consoles. And same with Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Mostly the first 2 games. I haven't gotten around to 3 or 4 yet.
And Ty the Tasmanian Tiger had an update? I haven't heard about him for a long time. I mean,
I'm saying that the first 2 Ty games got ported to newer consoles. They just haven't gotten around to doing 3 or 4 yet.
I think they did for 3. And 4 was a weird 2D platformer.
Oh yeah, the third game got ported to Steam like way back before the whole trend started. I was kind of more talked about like the Switch ports that were happening.
Oh, right, yeah. Because I do have Tie 3 on the Steam. I'm pretty sure. Because I never found them on a PlayStation 2. But yeah, sorry, I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, tied that, and then Crash and Spyro got the remastered treatment, as well as Crash getting a new game. Same with Psychonauts. KO got a new game, which is more of a remake, reboot. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get around to get that game, and I don't have the money right now. And yeah, it's really nice seeing all these classic platformers. Like you're like, yeah, Klonoa's more 2.5D, but there are segments where it's full 3D, so that's my excuse. But yeah, it's really nice to see all these classic gaming icons like come back and be introduced to a newer audience and even improve upon things. Like with the Insane Trilogy for Crash, I always consider that as the definitive version of Crash 1 because they really fixed up the difficulty there. Because like not only does it now support analog controls, since that wasn't a thing in the original, but they also fixed up the difficulty with the gems. So now with the clear gems, you can die as many times as you want, and it still keeps track of your box count, so you don't have to do the whole thing in one go. The only exception are the colored gems. You still have to go through that in one go, but at least it's a little more, fair and balanced.
I do feel that the collision detection is way stricter in the remasters because I die way easier than I did in the original. But maybe this is me.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's like I remember playing Spyro Reignited and going up against like the boss battle with Gulp, and I remember like that big stomp attack he moved. I was able to like avoid it fine in the original, but here I was having some difficulties. Like, oh, what's going on? So after figuring it out, it seems like that was the only time I actually used the dodge roll ability, which was really helpful. Kind of ironic because I never bothered using that in the original Spyro one.
Well, I was talking about Crash 1, but yeah, sure. But yeah, it's pretty cool that 3D platformers come back. So I always love them. I'm more into them when they have more of a interesting environments, like Hat in Time, like a new one, or Psychonauts. Like I like it when they do a little more storytelling in it, like Sonic Adventure, Mega Man Legends, Mystical Ninja starring Guillemon. Those are my jam. Like, unfortunately, usually they focus more on the collectathons, which I'm not a big fan of. So yeah, Ukulele and such never really speak to me.
Yeah, that was kind of more the games that I grew up on. Those old collectathons like Banjo-Kazooie. It's like, at least with it kind of depends like if it's done, how it's done. Like, oh, you collect the things and you get like a special reward. Collect the things or you don't get an award. Because I remember like one example is Crash Tag Team Racing. There's like, that's a game that like advertised like, oh, keep playing the game to collect all the stuff. And even when you get 100%, nothing special happens. So at least with like Banjo-Kazooie, you like get all the jiggies and whatnot, and you get the little sneak peeks of the whole stop and swap feature, teasing the next game. So yeah, at least there's like a reward for like actually putting in the effort of getting everything.
I guess so. I don't really care. But yeah, Pac-Man World's coming out. That's neat. So I only played the second one, and the third one on the DS, I hated that one. But the second one was pretty cool. So I guess maybe I'm going to try to finish one.
I'm really looking forward to Pac-Man World Repack. So I think they advertised it like that one's kind of more of a remake, but it still has like the same structure as the original. Like, oh, it's Pac-Man's party, his friends are coming, the ghost came by and captured all of his friends and family. So now Pac-Man has to go off and rescue them and fight off the evil Talk Man, the metallic robot version of the guy. Which, yeah, I always did enjoy the original Talk Man. That kind of weird design, especially with that big booming metallic voice. So in this remake, he's a lot more, I guess, a little more toned down, but he still looks pretty threatening, with the sharp teeth, and now he's sporting a jetpack, so, yeah, I don't mind it. I do notice that it plays, like, regularly, like how Pac-Man World did, the weird overhead 3D thing, kind of like what one of the Mario games did. So, pack dodge, collecting fruit, yada yada. The one noticeable difference I noticed is the boss fights this time look like they're more reinvented from the ground up. So, like, one example is the Chrome Keeper fight. It's like this robot. You have to constantly hit switches, and the only attack he does is just constantly kick crates at you. So in this remake, he actually puts up more of a fight, because we see, like, he's shooting lasers at Pac-Man, and there's gameplay footage where he's strapping on, like, rocket launchers, so he's definitely putting up more of a fight this time.
Alright, cool. Man, I wish we had more Tasmanian Tiger. Those are my favorite. Because how many video games take place in Australia? And they have really wonderful scenery there.
Yeah. I don't know, 3, Crash Time KO.
Ewan, you want to say something?
Don't know, really. I mean, I am kind of happy to hear that Klonoa at least has got a remake out now, and I do plan on getting it eventually. Got show support for the little guy.
Yeah, show support for the poor underrated series that Namco just fails at in marketing.
Yeah, I mean, I do have the Wii version, which I've not yet played, but from what I've seen from it, though, it does seem to play almost similar, but they altered the cutscenes where Hupo speaks a lot more often compared to Klonoa, which is a bit odd. Especially the choice of also giving Klonoa in the English sort of like speaking lines a much deeper voice, which I'm like, that's very jarring hearing, like, in the original game he has this sort of high pitched voice, like woohoo sort of thing, but yet when he's talking it sounds like a cool, edgy sort of kid.
That was so weird in the Wii remake. Like, all the other voices sounds fine, but with like Klonoa's English voice, like, I don't know, that voice just doesn't really suit him. Like, it sounds more like a voice you'd hear from Silver the Hedgehog, and not really Klonoa.
Yeah.
Maybe his voice broke.
Who knows?
Yep. Woo!
Yeah. Well, I do know that in the Wii remake, there actually is an option to change the dialogue to like that Phantom Mild-ish audio. So it's basically like the English actor is just doing the random gibberish, kind of like in the original game.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, 3D platformers are back. They're also still being made by indie developers. I recently run into this one, Tori Genesis, which is very difficult but also kind of fun. So you might want to check that out. It has free demos. Might as well,
Okie dokie.
give a spotlight to the little ones, as you said. But yeah, I think it's about time we go to the Fleetway comics. Or does anyone else want to say anything about a 3D platformer I'm looking forward to? Captain?
Looking forward to Sonic Frontiers.
There you go. It's also a 3D platformer. Yeah.
There's this indie game that I think is still in development. I've forgotten its name, but it involves a rabbit and a monkey. And I think there's like some sort of time-traveling fridge, and it kind of has that Banjo-Kazooie Crash look to it. Something Clive and Wrench or something?
Is it the one with like the monkey and the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that years ago. I was like, oh, nice. Looks like a predecessor, or I mean, a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. So
yeah,
I'll have to look in more into that. It's been a while since I've heard it.
Clive and Wrench, yeah, the logo definitely does look very rare-ish. All right, guess that's another game to look forward to. Lucky us, 3D platform lovers. Finally,
yay!
The genre is back. That's nice.
Yeah, genre that's been dead for so long is finally back and alive again.
Yeah.
Hopefully it inspires Capcom to make Mega Legend 3 or salvage what's left of it.
And actually do something with the Rayman with Ubisoft, or maybe Gex, because like nowadays Square Enix doesn't own the rights anymore, so maybe now Gex will have a better chance of getting a new game.
Who knows? Now on the engine of Tomb Raider, that'll be interesting. Alright, so we start with Sonic Fleetway, Sonic the Comic.
Alright.
Number 18. There we go. So, does anyone want to do a synopsis of Casino Night Part 1 with the Marxio brothers?
I guess I could do it.
Alrighty.
Thought Luke was going to go for that one.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting Luke to do that.
Maybe he wants to do Tales.
Yeah, well, I kind of want to do the Tales ones because of the epic fantasy feel of it.
Yeah.
There you go. Tales. Luke is going to do the Tales. He's the fox after all.
Okay. I'll just do the Marxio one. Maybe Part 1. Yeah. Alright, so Sonic and Porkaloo arrive at Casino Night Zone, where Robotnik has opened up the place where he has this giant statue that's hypnotizing people to, waste their money so that they go broke and, lose their everything, their house and everything. So Sonic and Porkaloo go up to try and blow it up. And as we see, the whole casino place is being held by the Marxio brothers, the long-lost cousins of the Mario brothers. And Marxio brothers. But yeah, so they go in there, they try to stop them, but then they get ambushed by robots, and eventually get captured by the Marxio brothers, who are then tied onto a roller coaster, a roller coaster track, where a roller coaster is coming by and trying to flatten them. And that's the end of Part 1 there.
Dun dun dun. Yeah. So yeah, we got our first humans besides Robotnik and weird monitor, I guess. And just to make a stupid joke about the Mario brothers, Isn't it kind of
Yeah.
interesting that they already talk like modern Mario with all "It's a me"? Well, even though modern Mario didn't exist at the time because this is 1993, right? And Charles
Yeah.
Martinet wasn't hired until 1996. So at this
Yeah.
point, he still had to be a Brooklyn, New Yorker.
Yeah, maybe like Brooklyn, kind of like what a Super Mario Super Show did. Did it more like a Brooklyn accent, but occasional like random Italian stuff. Oh, mamma mia, that kind of.
Ewan, you want to say something? We keep interrupting you.
No, don't worry. I don't really have much to add at the moment.
Fair enough. But yeah, the Marx Brothers joke. That's a weird reference. I wonder how many kids know that. Although the Marx Brothers did have a bit of a return in the early 90s, didn't they? Because I never really saw their movies, so I'm not really into the silent stuff.
I'm sure there might have been like a colored reboot or something, or maybe like one of those like those documentary films, like, oh, this is the dramatic recreation of like the life of these comedians. Because I know like the Three Stooges did that, but that was in 2000, so I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, I love the setup of this comic because again, I always love it when Robotnik like inserts himself as he's supposed to be some happy guy. So I utterly love it. It's still like Robotnik ruling the world to be completely, utterly evil. He puts his statue with a big, giant, goofy smile. This is exactly the stuff I love. Man, I wish Sonic Forces had more stuff like this in it, like a big theme park with all happy Robotniks. Come here, you always win. I don't do anything evil at all. I'll give you a big hug. Like it's beautiful. I love it.
I do like how this is like a nice little jab at the Mario Brothers when Nintendo and Sega were at odds with each other, because I don't think they've done this sort of thing in Archie comic. I think this is the only Sonic the comic that does that.
Yeah, I don't really recall any like any early Archie Sonic comics where they like take a jab at the Mario Brothers or whatever.
Yeah, but here it definitely is because they even wear like Mario style uniforms. Like the colors are of course different, like other details, but they definitely have a lot of Mario-esque elements to them. So yeah, it's definitely a reference. Weird sense of humor, especially since it's the darkest of the artists. Like I always love this artist, has the most intense art style. So kind of weird he has that goofy plot this time.
Also, I think this is where characters like Porker Lewis and Johnny Lightfoot started wearing clothes to make them look more cooler, because I think in earlier issues they were just plain naked.
That's a good
Yeah.
point, yeah. So they do get more of a personality now. Even though all the characters only exist to be insulted by Sonic. They're all this big, wide-eyed optimists who just get yelled at by Sonic all the time. Whether it's Tails or Johnny or Porker. Yeah, not allowed to have any personality other than be yelled at Sonic by Sonic. What an asshole. Oh, I guess we'll move on.
Into the Tails story.
First,
Yes,
we get a
and-
weird Echo the Dolphin. Sorry, look, weird Echo the Dolphin comic. Find it interesting because he suddenly blows stuff up. I wish you could do that in the games. But yeah. Oh, and I have to bring up that the Golden Axe comic yet again. They just bird people. I was finding it interesting. Like it's a funny Sonic comic for the kids, and yet there's the violent, like death right in the next comic. So that always makes me happy as well. And this one's pretty dark even because you have also had a snake that's been cut in two and screaming for mercy. Pretty dark for a Sonic comic, but there we go. Unfortunately, Tails isn't so dark. So look, your turn.
Yes, this is another adventure set in the Nameless Zone, which is basically Elden Ring with foxes, as once again, the two elders decide to summon Tails again, because, hey Tails, we got another problem again, can you help us? Because apparently, the third Enchanter King has been kidnapped, so Tails has to put on his armor and all that. So apparently, there's something to do with a magic crystal, and they have to rescue him. So they also brought in this new Fox character called Errol Blackthorn, which is just an older-looking Tails with armor. I mean, I pretty much made better fantasy-looking Fox OCs than that, but so they decided to team up in a party to start their epic quest to rescue the third Enchanter King by crossing the Bridge of Death straight into the dark realms of Mordor, and then they get surrounded by enemies. And I have to be honest, I really do like this imagery because it looks like something straight out of a ZX Spectrum or Commodore 64 game. I mean, it kind of looks like an old-fashioned version of Tunic, which involves a Fox Warrior character. But it looks quite interesting. I'm just that sort of thing.
Yeah, I do love the fantasy backgrounds. The characters look very intense. Like it could have been a proper Lord of the Rings Golden Axe style comic, and yet they still managed to draw Tails so adorable. And it makes oh man, I'm bad with words today, but it makes it look so funny because Tails looks so derpy in this super realistic well, not super realistic, but at least very intense looking fantasy world.
I mean, Errol kind of looks a bit similar to a Fox OC warrior character I got called Lucarian the Fearless, the champion of the Fox Kingdom, who wields the sacred blade White Flame, but he doesn't have the long hair like he does.
What a shame. Yeah, this equipment at least looks cool. Melton, you want to say something?
Oh, I'm just saying. I don't know, I guess, like the setting of the whole Nameless Zone or whatever it's called. Yeah, it's very nice. Nice fantasy adventure thing, especially when they're like walking across the bridge. Yeah, it definitely looks like something out of an old game.
Man, I love how like matter of fact it is. Like to just just teleport Tails in. Like, hey Tails, come on, sacrifice your life for an adventure. Tails just walks in. Oh, okay, why not? Like everything is so matter of fact and so derpy. I love it.
Elden Ring boxes.
I mean, also just because of how with the story, like, because in like the last issue, like Tails just went back, and now suddenly he's like called back again, like, oh wait, sorry, come back, Tails, we forgot something.
You've done such a good job. We want to hire again.
Especially since Tails himself is also in trouble because in his world, Robotnik is still ruling the world, so he's pretty much in a war of his own. Yet they keep pulling him out, like, screw your war and helping Sonic. Just go sacrifice your life in our stupid adventure now. And they do nothing but insult him all the time. Like, oh, you're kind of small, you're kind of weak, you're kind of useless. It's like, gee, sorry. You dragged me into your stupid adventure. I didn't ask for this. Poor Tails gets no respect. Even when Sonic isn't there, everyone's being a dick to him.
Yeah, also, speaking of which, I didn't know that Tunic was already out, and it's on Steam, so I should get round to playing that.
Ah, the old 3D platform we were talking about. Okay, cool. Good to know. But yeah, anyone else wants to say something about Tails Part 1? Then I guess we move on. Oh, yes?
Yeah, not really. No, it was Part 2 that I had something to say about.
Fair enough. We'll get to that soon enough. Alright, next Sonic the Comic, issue 19, where we get introduced to a new Sega franchise that I'm not familiar with. I think it was only on a Sega CD or something. Eternal Champions? Whatever.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be like Sega's answer to like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or something.
Yeah.
Before First Raw Fighter, I guess. Yeah,
because I think it's that. Because I think that game was also put onto the Mega Drive Mini.
Oh, really?
And it's one of those handful of games that requires the 6-button controller because, a lot of complex moves and such apparently.
All right. But yeah, I'm sorry I didn't know about that. I'm a bad Sega fan, I guess.
Shame on you.
Yeah, very shame. All right, Casino Night Part 2. Anyone wants to talk about this one or to do the synopsis?
I'll take it.
All right.
So, where last we left off, Sonic and Porker Lewis were tied to a roller coaster track, and Sonic scares the crap out of Porker Lewis by pretending they're gonna die, and then just gets them out immediately. And then, Sonic chases the Marxio brothers. They smash the disruptor that would have unrigged all of the slot machines and stuff. But it doesn't matter because Porker Lewis just did that himself, and now everybody's got money. And that's pretty much it.
One thing I want to point out is that apparently Sonic has this ability where he could vibrate his hands to loosen the ropes. Like, I don't see him doing that anywhere else.
Yeah, well, I think it happened one time in Archie Sonic. Like, that was the whole Island of Misfit Badnik story. But yeah, it's not often you see Sonic do that weird move.
Yeah, imagine how he grabs something when it's like Hunsky's vibrating.
Kind of reminds me of those old Super Friends cartoons where Superman are constantly like a bullshit excuse to use his powers. But I just vibrate very quickly and this wall will disappear. Sure, whatever.
There was a Golden Age comic where this scientist worked out this really weird equation to go through the fourth dimension or something to make him go through walls. Yeah, that's how science works.
I gotta love that comic book logic. So good to see it in a Sonic comic as well.
I mean,
But yeah, the whole Sonic vibrating to do bullshit things, that's definitely taken from the Flash.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes,
one thing I can't help but notice in like the comic panel is like how long that like roller coaster car is taking just to get to them. Because when you look at like the second page and like you see it's like practically in the same spot, and yet Sonic and like Porker are basically having a conversation with each other, and it's like this must be the world's slowest roller coaster.
Or they talk really fast.
Like in Monty
like,
Python, the Holy Grail with Lance and Lancelot going really, really fast.
Yeah. I pray we don't have any. We don't have any help, buddy. I'm sorry. We gotta get out.
Now there's an idea for like a Fleetway Sonic in Minutes parody.
There you go. If anyone remembers this one. But yeah, I still love the art style. That's still my favorite Sonic Fleetway artist. But yeah, Sonic being a horrible dick again. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do any violence to the Mario Brothers. I was kind of expecting to go. But then, despite all the slapsticky stuff. Although I guess it's implied Robotnik is going to be very angry at them at the end. Because last time he threatened them to send them back to Marxio World. The most horrible Super Nintendo game ever, I guess.
One thing I seem to notice though is like this is a small sort of like introduction in a way to a weapon that Johnny Lightfoot would start using later on, which is basically sort of like the long metal baton things.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Because they clearly like resemble them, and I think they decided like, well, I think Johnny Lightfoot needs a weapon, so let's just borrow that sort of idea from the Marxio brothers.
Oh, there you go.
Like double edge.
Another thing I've noticed is that they in this comic they've made Porker Lewis the tech specialist. Well, we usually associate Tails with being the tech computer specialist.
That's a good point too. Yeah.
Yeah, but Tails has to be useless in this comic, so.
Poor guy. Then again, I guess Porker Lewis is kind of the same as Rotor then, from Sonic 6.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, like before
That
Tails
more
became
cowardly.
more.
The fat tech guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course the only difference is that Porker Lewis is more of a coward while Rotor's a little more chill.
I guess so.
A funny little detail I like is the Marxio brothers, as they're like leaving Sonic and Porker Lewis on the tracks, they just continue to walk on the roller coaster tracks.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And then they're running away as if they weren't expecting it. Oh no! Sonic is riding the roller coaster. How did he get here so fast?
So even if Sonic died, it would still be almost been hit by the roller coaster. Oh well, it is the Marxio brothers, I guess. So you wouldn't expect anything better from a slapstick group like that. And of course, Mario is still stuck on a 2D plane, so he wouldn't be able to get off the roller coaster either. But yeah, good point. I didn't even notice that. That's kind of funny. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They are standing on a roller coaster track. Oh, that's hilarious. I gotta love that. Okay, browsing through the rest of the comic again, saw a couple interesting details. Sonic 3 is finally out.
Yeah, we've one of the earliest images of Knuckles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in his goofy face and his pink color.
Yeah.
They sure don't give a good first impression.
That's like that weird image that like usually pops up in like European like marketing stuff. Because I don't think that ever showed up in American marketing.
No.
It's just how he drew him in Europe, I guess. But yeah, I remember him also being on the Dutch music albums from Sonic 2. They really love this image, even though it looks pathetic. Poor Knuckles, already disrespected from the start. Oh well.
Also, the stripes on his shoes and his socks have switched colors.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also noticed he has buckles on his gloves.
Yeah, that's early on. I thought Sonic Avenger was the one that introduced all the buckles. Guess they were already playing with it now. We're learning so much from Sonic's history here. Oh, exciting. Alright, Luke, you ready for Tails' Story Part 2?
Okay, in the next exciting part of Tails in Elden Ring, Tails and the Fox Tarnished try to fight off the monsters, but it's like they've remembered it's dinner time, and it's like, run away! They're too tough for us! We don't want to miss dinner, so...
Don't say run away when we're talking about Monty Python. No, immediately have that
Run
scene in my
away!
head.
Run away! Run away!
Run away!
So they find their first dungeon. So and then they met this had an encounter with a random creature, which they managed to run away. But they fall off a cliff, which Tails saves Errol, and yeah, and then they find the third Enchanter King, who has been held prisoner against his will. And that's about it, but there is something evil lurking in the shadows.
Dun dun dun. Yep, we end on an exciting cliffhanger.
So there's a couple of details in this that I find kind of funny.
Yeah.
One is the green thing that's chasing them. When they fall off the cliff, it says, "Boy, this is the best job I ever had," implying that his job is just to chase things off of a cliff.
Imagine going into a dungeon and like a monster would say that,
Yeah.
like in Zelda or something. It's a panic.
You gotta clock in at the dungeon entrance.
Wait for the hero to come and just chase him off a cliff. Oh, sounds like a great job for me too, yeah. Except I'm not scary enough. But yeah, I didn't even notice that. That was funny, yeah.
Also, like, it's kind of implied in the earlier pages that Errol might actually be jealous of Tails, because he's constantly, like, undermining Tails' like, position as a hero.
Yeah,
And,
look,
like,
yeah.
And he claims he needs to, like, expose Tails as a fraud. It's his duty to do so. He's just kind of being a jerk, because everyone has to be a jerk to Tails.
Yeah. But yeah, Luke forgot to mention it. There's a side plot where Tails became a hero because he was exaggerating in a letter. That's
Yeah, because they took his letters too seriously, and Tails kind of exaggerated a bit to make himself look like a hero.
So basically, if he tells on Tails, he would basically say, well, Tails lied about himself in his own diaries or something. It's like this
Pretty
poor
much.
Tails getting punished for something stupid like that.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be very angry about it.
Nope. But yeah, poor
And,
Tails.
it's weird that Tails sees this as a bad thing, because he has been trying to tell them himself.
Good point, yeah. They don't listen. They just keep pushing him to have an adventure. And he's constantly being successful at it. So would be a bit of a dick move to then punish him for it. How dare you not being a good hero even though you succeeded in all your missions so far? It's like, well, you're called me in here. I have my own war to fight dicks. Sonic the Comic. Where everyone's an asshole all the time. How wonderful.
Yep.
But yeah, awesome art style at least. Let's see. Oh yeah, I found something interesting in the letters at the end. They always send letters to those magazines. I kind of found it funny that one person, like one reader, was sending in a letter where there were rumors that Sonic would die in Sonic 4. Which and then the answer to that is like, oh, Sonic 4 is a long way. It's gonna take a long time before Sonic 4 comes.
Yeah, it's one of those old-fashioned schoolyard rumors, like when a new in this forthcoming game or movie, they're going to kill off the main character, and you're like, oh my god, they're really going to do that? Because I remembered like when Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation going on, there was a big talk on, oh, they're going to kill off Lara Croft, that sort of thing, or when the next I don't know, Mario game and said, "Oh, they're going to kill off Mario," that sort of thing. I don't know.
Always fun, those schoolyard rumors, yeah. And so it's especially fun, ironic to see them say talk about Sonic 4 now. Now we have the knowledge there is a Sonic 4.
Yeah, and in some ways it did kind of technically kill off Sonic, because like
his reputation.
Because yeah, in some ways, like Sonic 4 was pretty much like foreshadowing what was to come for the meta era. You know, just throwing out all the lore and world building, all the pandering to Genesis nostalgia and all that.
Yep, and it was a long way from 1993, so they indeed had to wait a very long time before Sonic 4 was out. So they got that right as well. But yeah, it was something that amused me. Moving on to Comic 30, where Shinobi returns in his own comic, but we're still not going to talk about it. Actually, he returned in the previous one, but... Oh, wait, this is 20, not 30.
Yeah, this is 20.
Man, I'm not... Well, I did get the right scans, but I gave the wrong name. I'm not in a good shape today. Then again, I'm barely ever in good shape. So, Hilltop Terror. Anyone wants to do a synopsis of this exciting story? I guess it's my turn this time. So, we're going to Hilltop, because the Sonic the Comics really have an obsession with Sonic 2 so far. Although we start with doing the tornado level first. Sonic's beating up a couple of turtles. Anyway, we get to Indiana Jones Temple of Doomtown, where a bunch of tribe people talk about Sonic, and they mention a volcano's about to burst. And of course, Sonic and Tails have to save the day, because if you can beat up a robot, you can stop a volcano, obviously. I kind of love the fact they do put like a civilization in a Sonic zone. Kind of reminds you of Sonic Adventure putting a town in the ice cap zone. So that's kind of neat. Gives those zones a bit of more of a civilization going on. But yeah, Sonic and Tails go to a volcano and immediately get attacked by the boss. But then Sonic turns to Super Sonic, which in Sonic Comic is a bad thing because he's a psychopath and he's immediately pissed off at Tails and pissed off at the robot. So he immediately wants to kill Tails because everyone's always a dick to Tails. Robotnik says something because he rigged the volcano to burst. I absolutely love the panel later where you see the tribe people again, where they just have this annoyed face on their heads. Oh, Sonic failed, we're all dying. With a super dry face expression. Like, oh, I guess we're all dying. Oh, guess we're all dead, whatever.
Yeah, damn kids. Damn kids, they're hip and they're happening.
Exactly. This is one of my favorite panels of all time now. But yeah,
it's especially funny. It's especially funny to me because they blame the volcano going off on the gods being angry at them. So I don't know who they're mad at here.
That's a good question.
Yeah, this is one of those stories where Sonic acts really dickish here, especially to Tails.
So far, he wants to murder him at the end, yes.
And also to fuel his own ego, he turns the lava into a massive statue of himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And that angle that we got on it is not the best.
Should have been a big dick there.
Yeah, it looks like he has like a stubby arm there.
Great. Man, Sonic Fleetway, it certainly has a personality of its own.
And of course, poor Robotnik only gets like a small cameo, but I guess he needs to see a dentist first because them gums aren't looking too healthy.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because one of the artists always has this weird art style where you see Eggman's lips, so I guess this is the other artist's attempt to imitate that. It looks really off with this art, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Captain, you want to say something?
Well, yeah, it's kind of funny that, like, Robotnik decides to clarify before Sonic dies, supposedly, that he prefers him in blue. Just weird last words to hear.
I suppose it's similar to like in Unleashed, where he goes, "That's a new look for you, festive."
Yeah, I guess so.
Fair enough, yeah.
Robotnik is always so unfazed when Sonic turns into something magical again. Oh, you have a new haircut, Sonic? Whatever.
Yeah. Robotnik just has a knack for commenting on Sonic's appearance before killing him.
I guess so. No matter how badass or magical it is, he just has this one dry statement about it. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah, the thing is, like in Unleashed, when you associate festive, you usually associate with Christmas. So I was wondering what's so Christmassy about Werehog Sonic.
Well,
Well, I
he's
think he was-
furry, so that's a Christmas suit? Oh, yeah, melted
Like,
go ahead.
no, I think he was more referring to Halloween. You know, the werewolf look and whatnot.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Festive doesn't necessarily mean Christmas.
All
Yeah.
right.
Fair enough. I find it kind of interesting how the zones are never really properly represented, because now we get to the hilltop and it's completely like wasteland, which in the game is very lush with green. Kind of reminds me of Sonic
Yeah.
Adventure changing ice cap around. So I guess Sonic Adventure wasn't the first one guilty of this.
Yeah. I guess it's just this common trend before the games, like first hilltop, and then ice cave, and then of course, was it Metropolis and whatnot?
Oh yeah,
from
Metropolis, yeah.
Sonic,
Also
yeah,
good.
from Sonic Forces. Yeah.
But except for Green Hill Zone, that one never changes. It's set in stone. Just like Sonic statue here. Wow. Anyone else have something to say about this comic?
Let's see. Well, it's kind of interesting that the hilltop is populated by these like Native American bald eagles and whatnot, which I'm probably something that wouldn't do very well over here in America.
Yeah, it's. I'm not sure if it's racist. I guess it's abstract enough that they get away with it. But yeah, it's still made in the 90s when we weren't so sensitive about that sort of thing, I guess. But do
Yeah,
they really
back
do
when-
any Native American things? Yeah, they have the totem poles, I guess. But
Yeah, just the totem poles, but not really like any rituals and whatnot. But yeah, this was like way back in the day when like Indians was like a very common thing before we have to be politically correct and call them Native Americans.
fair enough. But yeah, they don't call them anything here, and they also don't have any weird speech impediments. So I guess as far as insensitive portrayals of other folk, it's relatively tame. They're just birds. So
But yeah, as you said, Roger, it's barely relevant to Hilltop Zone. The fact that it's a volcano and a Rexon appears, and that's it.
pretty much, yeah. Oh well.
Well, I guess the pulley system also shows up.
Actually, now I think about it, this should have really been Underground Zone for Sonic 2 Game Gear, but I guess that was too obscure. But that would have resembled this art style way better. But then the boss character wouldn't fit, I suppose. So, oh well, whatever.
I do like how gullible Supersonic is.
Falling for the
Yeah, that
Aladdin
is
trick, yeah.
Yeah. And also, I guess Supersonic is so fast that Tails literally can't even move between panels.
Apparently.
Well, I mean, he is fast enough to turn lava into a statue. I have to assume that would take a lot of speed. I'm not sure if speed is even relevant enough for that, but oh well, comic book logic.
And for some reason, that just makes Sonic not super anymore.
Yeah, that's also weird. It immediately went off. Oh well, I guess his 50 rings were up. Someone's asking me, Roger, have you ever watched Johnny Vector's videos on the Fleetway comics? No, unfortunately not. I don't watch too much YouTube. Any of you guys familiar with Johnny Vector?
Not really.
Nope.
Let's see, Johnny Vector. I know there was one guy, one V2.
Yeah, there's one Vector we know. It's a detective crocodile.
No, I was talking about like one guy on YouTube that talks like the history of Fleetway Sonic lore. But yeah, actually, yeah, I am familiar with Johnny Vector's videos. He's a guy that talks about mostly talks about like Fleetway Sonic. So he does like videos talking about the history of certain characters, like Short Fuse the Cybernetic, or who are the Brotherhood of Metallics and others. And yeah, it's very nice.
Did he talk
Nice
about the
video.
Marxio brothers?
I know he briefly mentioned them in some videos, but no, he hasn't really done a video that's specifically focusing on the Marxio brothers' history.
Blasphemy. The best characters ever.
Although he did one on, what was it? Oh yeah, the history of the Burger Guy, the most important Sonic character.
There you go. From Sonic Avenger, you mean, not for Fleetway, then.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure.
Of course. This scary statue. Alright, so let's go to Tales Chapter 3. Look.
Before we then, I'm browsing through the issues. Apparently, there was a Sega console that was announced called the Sega Multi Mega, which is like some sort of portable Mega Drive. And I was wondering if any of you were familiar with it.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, the design looks familiar. I might have seen, like, the AVGN might have one of these, but yeah, I kind of looked at this like, oh, a Mega Drive and CD player? Huh. At first I thought it was some kind of unreleased console, like the Sega Neptune or something.
I have heard about the PlayStation version, the PlayStation console that was like handheld too. I was interested in that, but a Mega Drive version, never heard of that. Kind of weird because we're still in the Game Gear's golden age, so they suddenly had a lot of competition. But yeah, I didn't have a screenshot for that. I'll look it up quickly.
But yeah, I'm looking at the design, like, yeah, it definitely looks like one of those old, like, portable, like, CD players, like, you know, so this was, like, way before, like, iPods and phones became a thing, and, funny enough, my old raincoat that I've had for years that somehow still fits me actually has a pocket specifically for holding those old, CD players, even though, like, you know, no one usually uses them anymore.
Oh, well. Anyway, yeah. Here it is, the 16-bit portable. Kind of interesting. Also, kind of interesting to see they had like a video game expo, but in Las Vegas. I guess it was before E3 was a thing. That was more in San Diego, I think.
Yeah, I think that's when they used to be held, but they had a very short, very small area devoted to video games. So I think one of them tried to want to do something about that.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was kind of fun to look back in the past in these comics, but for some reason I didn't feel the need to highlight it this time. But yeah, portable Mega Drive. Cool. Of course, now we have the Mega Drive Mini, which is also portable if you have like a small monitor to install it on, I guess. Right. Tales, The Land Beyond, Part 3. Look.
Okay. In this next part of Tales in Elden Ring, Tails and Errol find the missing Enchanter King, but they have been stopped by a giant monster, which, kind of looks like a very weird version of a Rancor. Errol frees the Enchanter King, and the monster's like, what you doing? And it's like, but while he's distracted, they just they run away. It's like, hang on a minute, you're taking my dinner. I'm going to get mad about that. So they chase him, even though he looks like he's running alongside them. But they keep on running, but he ends up hitting his head and cries about it. But so the old Elder King tried to take him through the dark tunnels, but it turns out to be a trap, because he turns out he doesn't want to be rescued, and he turns out to be the main bad guy from the previous story, Trog.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
To be continued.
I kind of want to make a Stranger Things reference, but I don't want to spoil anything.
I haven't seen Stranger Things.
So it's funny that you compared the monster to a Rancor. I thought it looks more like a cancerous Tasmanian devil.
I was thinking of the other Looney Tunes character, the Red Harry one.
Oh.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Taz on a large amount of meth.
Yeah, I can see your point.
There we go. That's perfect.
Mind you, there's been a difference between Taz and a meth head.
Fair enough. Well, meth heads are a little more sleepy and chill, I guess.
Maybe someone on bath salts. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a naked Taz, like all the fur is shaved off, and he just has warts or leprosy. I don't know.
That would make him angry. Yeah, at least he's as smart as Taz. So. There you go. Yeah, pretty neat. It's kind of pathetic that Tails gets his big heroic moment by just being lucky that the monster hit his head. It's like that was his big moment to have a heroic moment, but nope. Poor Tails. Even the writers don't respect him. You know, when you get your cool heroic moment, you just get to stand around like an idiot.
And poor Tails.
Anyway, Melting Man, you wanted me to show off Sonic Cosplay?
Oh yeah, there was like the letters from like was it issue 17, and they were showing off, you know, like fan art and fan submissions. So I found this one like, oh, here's this weird like Sonic cosplay of this guy or kid, I don't know who, but yeah, it's this weird looking Sonic costume that he's dressed up in. Because I know how you love to point out like weird fetishes in Fleetway Sonic.
You know, this kid, what his name is? Ewan. Ewan himself is having dinner right now, so we can insult him behind his back. So everyone feel free to throw in a bunch of Ewan jokes.
Ah, jeez.
Actually, I'm just watching you guys, by the way.
Darn! Curse you! Now we can make jokes behind your back. Oh, well, I'll say it to your face.
Yeah, it was actually issue 80, but yeah, he's wearing a red jumper.
Yeah, it looks red in that photo. Yeah.
Kind of pinkish. Maybe it's supposed to be Sonic's stomach and arm color. He just forgot to paint the rest of the body blue.
Yeah, maybe. At least he's not naked like Sonic.
Fair enough.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of this very surreal Sonic fan film. It's very bizarre, with this kid dressed up in a Sonic costume and like he's reflecting on life or something. It was very weird.
Okay. Ewan, did you ever cosplay as Sonic yourself?
I did, and of course there is a photo, but I don't think I've got it scanned at the moment.
You look just as handsome as this kid.
Well, I was actually wearing a full head mask, so you couldn't see my face.
Then it's definitely more handsome.
Yeah, I remembered like we were dining at your house like years ago, and your mum was telling us about it.
I do know you dressed up as Dr. Robotnik and even shaved your head for it. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, like all that for the sake of a tiny trophy. Was it worth it?
Yeah, that was painful. Like the year before that, in the cosplay competition, had this big prize. I think like you win a Xbox 360 with Sonic Generations or something, like a huge prize.
Yeah,
and then the next year you win, and then it's like a tiny prize. Ouch.
Yeah, and then the year after that, it was like the 20th anniversary sort of limited edition sort of Sonic statue that was worth about £2,000.
So the only time you win is when there's a pathetic prize. Ouch.
Yeah, but then again, that was back when they first had Crush 40 come in, so all that budget went towards just bringing them in.
Fair enough. Yeah, Summer of Sonic, good times. I always had bad luck with them too. I always want to send in a cartoon, and half the time it goes wrong. Oh well, yeah, I succeeded a couple
Well, at
times.
least your Sonic CD in minutes got properly shown, and everyone found that enjoyable.
That was kind of cool seeing that in live happening, even though I was embarrassed about it.
With people laughing at the parts that you didn't expect them to laugh.
Yeah, it's always educational for me to see.
I remember like when Sonic CD was being shown, and there was a guy dressed up as Robotnik, and he was reacting to the animation as Robotnik. And I thought that was
Oh, really?
amazing. I remember, yeah, he was like, oh, oh, that sort of thing.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even notice that. Is that on video?
No. It was when it was shown at Summer of Sonic, and I was sitting with you watching the animation. There was a guy dressed up as Robotnik, and he was reacting to it as Robotnik.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. That's a shame I missed it. Good times. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really cosplay as any of the Sonic characters or went to any Sonic conventions. I know, like, somewhere of Sonic, there was this one kind of like had this weird, sick, twisted sense of humor with describing Summer of Sonic, where it's like, oh, you know, the advertisers say, oh yeah, it's a fun place for Sonic fans to hang out and check out the new stuff, and then my interpretation of like what really happens is that the whole thing is just a bloodbath. You know, like people are just ripping each other's arms off over different opinions and stuff.
Yeah, you were planning to step right in the middle of the room and go, I like Sonic 06, and just start a big bar fight.
No. For me, it would be
No.
Sonic.
That happens at Star Wars conventions.
Oh, really?
That
I
was a
liked
joke.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
Yes.
like for me, for a bar fight to happen in Archie, for a Sonic convention, it would just me come up and say like, "Oh, I like Archie Sonic," and then my ass would get kicked.
Ah.
No love for the Archie Sonic
But
fans.
what do you want to say, Captain?
Oh, I was just agreeing with Luke that, like, if you say you like Phantom Menace, an argument will start.
All right.
No, I think that's been changed now. If you like The Last Jedi.
Fair enough. I think the prequel has gone up in reputation now, yeah. Good job,
Yeah, the
Disney. Somehow managing to do that. Very impressive.
Yeah, the prequels are being more looked at a little more positively nowadays. I think, yeah. Although I've only
Well, the
seen
se-
episode 1. Yeah.
When the sequels are so bad, they make you reevaluate the prequels.
Well, the same happened with Sonic 06, so it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah, specifically for those that didn't like the meta era. Then you look back at Sonic 06, like, oh, you know, that game wasn't that bad. They had some good parts.
I guess so. I have to admit, I kind of liked the Phantom Menace as a kid as well, but then again, I wasn't a big Star Wars fan. But that's neither here nor there. Captain, you wanted me to show off this picture of the Frisbee Sonic?
Yeah, I like it. I wonder. It's free. I wonder if I can actually fill out this form and still get it.
That's a good question. Although since Fleetway doesn't exist anymore, I doubt it.
So that's a Frisbee. So that's a Frisbee. I actually thought that was...
Frisbee.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ewan.
No, sorry, I was just saying, like, I did have that Frisbee, and yeah, after some time it ended up in the garden where it stayed for several years before it eventually vanished forever. Never to be seen again.
That's a shame. A nasty neighbor stole it. Yeah, Melting Man?
So that's supposed to be a Frisbee. I must have not looked at the text clearly, because at first I thought that was just like a weird Pog Sonic thing. You know, Pogs.
They were very popular too, yeah. But anyway, there is one YouTuber I saw, like LGR, who does old PC games. He did have a PC game from the 90s that also had a coupon for a free pizza, and he did try to send it in. And he actually did get his pizza, so...
Oh, wow.
Oh, hell yeah.
It does work.
Yeah, that actually does remind me, like, so, like, there's this old game based off of, Disney's The Haunted Mansion. This was, like, made to, like, coincide with the live-action movie. And, funny enough, they're actually, the copy that I got used actually still has this, like, free ticket to go and see the movie in the theaters. And, nowadays that ticket's mostly worthless because they don't show it in theaters anymore.
Ah. Oh, well.
There was a...
We also got a very nice photo here of Ewan dressed up as Sonic.
Yes, give me a moment.
Oh, yeah, he posted that in the chat, yeah.
And while you talk about that, there was that Simpsons episode where they for some reason didn't have any food in the house. I don't remember why. And they found a really old box of Barnum's animal crackers. It was like decades old, and as Homer's scarfing them down, he like chips his tooth on a golden giraffe, which is apparently the prize for, or the indicator that you've won a trip to Africa. So they go to the company and demand their prize, and the company doesn't consider it until the idea that they might sue is brought up, so they pay for them to go to Africa.
Yeah, I think that episode started because the baggage boys at a local shop decided to go on strike.
Oh.
That's always with Simpsons.
It's always something weird careens into something very strange. Like there was the episode where some company, like greeting card company or whatever, needed to make up a new holiday because their Love Day, because their sales were going down, and that somehow led to a garbage strike.
I love that about Simpsons, that every episode is basically 3 different stories, but they kind of flow into each other.
I think I remember that they kind of took the piss out of this, where one episode started with Homer telling Moe about a story about Bart digging a hole for no reason, and then it turned into a Moe story.
Yeah. Simpsons episodes are very dynamic, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
I have to tend to my cat for a moment. Can you talk about something stupid?
Yeah, well, we can talk about the image on screen there. Yeah, we can make fun of little Ewan. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, actually, now I've seen it, the head piece, that actually doesn't look too bad.
Yeah,
it's decent.
It's surprisingly good. I think it actually might be the best part of the costume.
Yeah.
That's the reason I never cosplayed as Sonic characters, because it's very hard to make it look good.
Yeah,
but I think Ewan did a pretty good job there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, I'm back. Had a bit of a catastrophe. What are you talking about?
Catastrophe?
A catastrophe, yes.
Catastrophe. We just talked about the head on Ewan's costume. Like paper mache or something?
Probably, yeah.
Oh. And he's not here anymore.
Ah, yeah.
Now we can talk behind his back.
There we go.
But yeah,
his face is stupid. He looks like Sonic. Oh wait, that's he's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much the reason why I don't really cosplay or try to cosplay as Sonic characters, and it's mostly just the head, like the big head, and then of course there's like some characters that have like a lot of details, like especially when you're going for like characters from the Archie Sonic comics, like there's Dr. Finitivus, who's like one of my favorite villains from the Archie Sonic universe, but that guy has so much detail to him, like all the rings and the cape and the bandaged hands, and it's a little too much for me.
Understandable. Yeah, and I'm fat, so I don't like to cosplay either. Otherwise, unless it's going to be Big the Cat or something, I guess. But...
I did cosplay as like a few other characters back when I
Yeah.
did some anime
Robotnik, I guess.
Yeah. Well, not as Robotnik, just like other random characters, like the Mad Hatter from American McGee's Alice, and one time I did the Scout from Team Fortress 2, and then I also cosplayed as the Second Doctor one time. That was my third time going to an anime convention.
Patrick Troughton.
Yeah, good old Patrick Troughton. Which, funny enough, I actually did run into someone cosplaying as the Fourth Doctor, and we actually took a picture where we, hold our hands out to signify like which Doctor we are. So yeah, that was fun. And then we kind of did like this fun little chat of like, oh, the Doctors meet each other, like, oh, how's Jamie doing? Oh, Jamie McCrimmon's doing fine.
Like, oh, Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie.
Oh, my idiot.
Oh, my word. When I say run, run. Run! When marathoning like classic Doctor Who, Patrick Troughton was definitely one of my favorites next to Tom Baker.
All right. I've never really been much into classic Doctor Who. Although I always want to make a parody of the Four Doctors meeting. That was a funny special.
Yeah, I was going to talk about my cosplays I've done. I mean, one of the first cosplays I've done, I was the Fourth Doctor, and a few times I did cosplay as Mario, which is one of my favourite cosplays. And one time in 2014, I cosplayed as Captain Haddock from Tintin. And I think some years ago, 2016, I cosplayed as Randy Marsh from South Park.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, because I remember finding two cosplayers as Stan and Kyle, and I had a photo taken with them.
Did you also start punch fights? I thought this is America!
No, I didn't find Bat Dad, or whatever his name was.
That's a shame. Oh, well, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I remember your Captain Haddock cosplay.
Yeah, I remember the bit where I actually sort of found a Tintin cosplay, and I was like, Tintin, my lad!
Nice. That's pretty awesome. That's always the fun parts, when you find someone to interact with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm also noticing Captain Theory posted his own cosplay that he did one time.
Alright, coming up soon.
He's cosplaying as Wario, which is surprising.
I'm actually really proud of that cosplay, even though it's surprisingly simple. It's literally just a yellow t-shirt and orange overalls. Or not orange, purple. Purple overalls.
Yeah, purple. Yeah, at least it's not brown overalls, because it seems like those are a little hard to find, or at least more expensive.
Oh, well, what I did was, went to Walmart, found some blue overalls. I undyed them, because you can use dye remover. And apparently denim is naturally brown. And after that, I dyed them purple.
They're very resourceful, rather than trying to hunt down a pair on eBay and whatnot.
Very smart, yeah. Also had a hat?
I did, but not at the time of that picture.
That's a shame. Alright.
Yeah.
Could you also eat onions and have fiery farts and pull a motorbike out your ass?
It's garlic, not onions.
Oh,
but no.
I failed at my Wario trivia knowledge. How evil of my... Well, I already know garlic is superior to onions. What a shame for this
garlic's great.
I love garlic,
Right now I'm just digging through some of my videos to try and find my own cosplay stuff I've done before.
Yeah, I found a quick photo of me as Mario.
Here's Luke with Tintin.
I got the Cappy edition. Nice.
But yeah, here is Lucas Captain Haddock, and here comes Lucas Wario.
Mario.
Mario, yes.
I'm Wario. He's Mario.
I said Mario.
Yeah, I had googly eyes put on my cat because it was the year that it was when around about the time that Mario Odyssey came out, so I tried to make it turn into Cappy.
And I see Billy, the blue Power Rangers ass in the background. Very nice.
Excellent.
Important details. Yeah, I think I only cosplayed once in my life, and I don't have pictures of that. But it was Dr. Nanbai from Dr. Slump. I don't know what his name exactly was. The mad professor from Dr. Slump, which is not called Dr. Slump, weirdly enough. It's the only cosplay I ever did, and it was a disaster. My suit kept falling apart. I had like an Arala puppet, but it did not cooperate with me. It was embarrassing.
So we have Luke as Mario, me as Wario. I have a friend who cosplayed as Waluigi. Melting Man, you think you could be Luigi?
I think I actually did dress up as Luigi one time for a Forgotten Media Halloween special.
Oh my god, perfect.
I think you make a really good Waluigi.
Oh yeah, Waluigi! But, yeah, I never did cosplay as Waluigi.
Hey, besides, I did once make a video with Mario characters. Luke, you were in it too. You weren't Mario or Luigi? Because I filmed it was like a murder scene with Bowser and Toad.
Yes, there. Many years ago, we went to the ruins of
Colchester. Yeah.
Colchester, and you filmed me as Mario going into Bowser's castle to find out he melted, and Ewan, dressed as a toad, was like the real culprit or something. And I remember going, Princess! And there was a brilliant bit at the beginning where you had me jumping through a typical Mario level. I thought that was really well done.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Man, I barely remember it. It was a very long time ago. I don't think it's on YouTube.
Let's see.
Yeah, here's Melting Man's first cosplay.
Yeah, my first one was playing the Mad Hatter, which from American McGee's Alice. And funny enough, it's kind of cut off, but you can actually see that's my sister there, who's cosplaying as Alice from said game. But yeah, that was quite the costume to put together. Like, I mostly... my sister helped out a lot. She helped with the hat because the hat is like so super tall with the symbols and everything. And the rest was just getting help from like a community theater that I know of. So like getting the shirt and the pants and all the belts that he's stripped on. The teapot came. That was very interesting to do because we couldn't find like a standalone proper model. So what we ended up doing was going to Toys R Us, buying one of those like, those like pink tea sets for like children and whatnot. So we took that and spray painted like gray and whatnot because we mainly had like the figurine of the guy to work off of. So we did that and went to the convention, and yeah, it was nice. But wearing the hat figures with me there. And
Am I still online? Sorry, I think I have a problem. I just got an error message from OBS. Does anyone can check if we're still online on YouTube?
It's still playing on my end, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, then I don't know what's going on. Oh, well, should be fine.
But yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
And then there's like the other costume. There's me as the Red Scout. Like that one was a lot more simpler, the red shirt, bandages, everything. It was pretty much accurate. Like the only difference was like the headpiece. It was like a solid black color instead of like, the kind of yellowish thing. But yeah, we just worked off of it. And when I cosplayed as the Red Scout, I just so happened to run into a bunch of people cosplaying as the Blue Scout. So yeah, I got my ass kicked from the other team. Although I did run into someone cosplaying as Pinkie Pie. I can't remember if it was the Equestria Girls version or a fan-made human version. But yeah, that was like back when the show was really at its height. And then, of course, there's me as the Second Doctor. Another simple one. There's me wearing a weird, goofy wig to try and get that similar hairstyle. The recorder, that was an interesting challenge because, the Patrick Troughton's run, that was all done in black and white, and we couldn't get, like, a good view of what the recorder actually looked like. So we just ended up using a screenshot from, the Three Doctors special. That was, like, the only one that had it in color, and a good view. It's like, oh, okay, it's the stripy thing. And then that's when I ran into the Fourth Doctor there. But yeah, I've had some variety with cosplaying at anime conventions, and I definitely miss doing that. It's been a long time since I've had fun cosplaying and going to nerdy conventions and whatnot.
Fair enough. Oh well, COVID seems to be on the way out, so I did say it correctly before I get jokes about ravens again.
Yeah, you said it right.
Yay! Well,
So, Melting Man, I just wanted to say, a better way to do the hat standing up, rather than stuff it with cotton, line it with wires.
Yeah, I've thought about that. Like, maybe the next time I would do it, we would just take the cotton out and have wires structured in there. So I don't know, like, it's been, I'm sure I think I have the hat somewhere stashed away, but yeah, the brim is, not in the best shape, so I'll have to try and fix that if I feel like cosplaying as the Hatter again.
fair enough. Oh yeah, Sylvia said I did cosplay as Mario. Well, it wasn't really cosplay since I just filmed myself for a video, a Mario Odyssey parody.
Yeah, I'd say it counts.
I guess so. Although it wasn't at the convention, it was just me filming that. It was fun, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's our sharing our cosplay experiences.
Yeah.
Always fun.
Memories.
I don't have a picture of it, but when I went to that convention in March, I cosplayed as Charlie from Smiling Friends.
It doesn't ring a bell.
It's a pretty funny show. It's made by I think Oni NG, and it's on Adult Swim.
Are you talking about Smiling Friends?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. It's pretty fun. Very good.
Okay, this is doesn't ring a bell for me, but for those who like it,
It's-
there you go.
It's pretty short. I recommend checking it out.
Ah, yeah, Smiling Friend. I've seen snippets of it. Haven't really seen it. Although the most I've heard about it was that this was actually, yeah, that show was like the last time Gilbert Gottfried had a speaking role, and that's when he played God in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Gottfried. Iago.
Rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried.
Nice. Indeed. Oh well. Death comes for us all.
Let's see. I was trying to find like another picture I did. Okay, I found it. It was that other cosplay I did where I teamed up, dressed up as the Red Engineer, also from Team Fortress 2, who was actually one of my favorite mercenaries from the game, which pretty much explains why my Gmod persona is basically the Engineer, but in his beta colors.
Yeah, when I first saw you as Melting Man in live action, I thought that's what you were trying to be like.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. Like, I thought it was like the TF2 engineer. Like, no, it was going for like a coal miner outfit. Because, like, you know, normally the engineer doesn't really wear the mining hat with, you know, the light attachment and whatnot. That's like an optional thing. But yeah, there's like people, they say that. And I think one of the funniest comments I got when I first showed off the outfit was someone said that my mining outfit reminded them of a porno video that they saw. It was like it was like, oh, this construction guy is like at work, and this girl is like, oh, sorry, I can't pay you, but I know of another way, and you know they do the thing. So that was yeah, it was like when I first showed it off in the Kilala Princess episode, Forgotten Media. It's like, yeah, that was one of the comments I got. Oh, your costume reminds me of a porno.
Hey, that's the best kind of compliment you can get. Hey, you remind me of that porn star. Ever thought of changing your career?
I don't know. Like, if I'm like down in the dumps and living in a cardboard box, then maybe I'll try out for like, you know, recording those sexual videos. yeah. Into the bedroom they went, where they took off their clothes and they did the thing in the thing.
Indeed.
Yeah, of course, I'm just goofing around there.
There's my wife cosplaying as Link. That was the same one where I went as Dr. Why can't I know his name? Dr. Slump Guy? Senbai? But yeah, there you go. Another cosplayer.
Oh, that looks pretty good.
Yep. And now we got...
Yeah, we also had another friend with us who cosplayed as Limebeck from Phantom Hourglass, and that was really awesome.
Oh, indeed, it was very good. But yeah, I probably shouldn't put too much cosplayers, otherwise you're going to be here all the time, because if I'm going to take my friend Cole, he is really impressive.
I guess one thing I forgot to point out was some of the details of the engineer is so like the red shirt, that was just one of my shirts. The hat, same with Forgotten Media. The goggles was something I got from a steampunk hat from a convention. So it had red lenses, but then we edited it out to have like black lenses so I can actually see. So because the red lenses kind of screw with my eyes, and then for the wrench we just cut out this like big photo of the standard engineer wrench and just plastered it on styrofoam.
If you replace one of the red lenses with a green lens, you could look at those 3D pictures. That would have been cool.
Oh, the red and blue lenses, yeah.
Oh, is it blue? Sorry, I thought it was red and green.
Yeah, red. No, red and blue. No, I don't think they do that anymore, because I think 3D glasses, or at least from what I last remember, they kind of have, like, standard, or at least the lenses look like the same color, but I don't know, the whole 3D craze has died out years ago.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, well.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I did notice there was a question that showed up in the chat that we didn't get around to answering. That was, oh, here it is. Mike Trap 397. Ever heard of Team Season 3?
What? Team Season 3? What?
Oh, that's basically the group that are making a third season of Satyam Sonic.
Yeah.
Oh, I know about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, doing the animated continuation. But yeah, they posted a trailer for it, and yeah, it looks neat. I definitely got a bit giddy when they showed off like a Satyam version of Mina Mongoose, one of the characters from the comics.
The animation was really good. I was very impressed. Yeah.
Yeah. Roger's jealous.
Yeah, I'm a bit, but.
Well, who knows?
There's also a question earlier from Mecha Kirby saying, like, do we have any hope for Sonic Prime?
Oh, yeah, that was also a question. Yeah, I think it would be good. The animation is great. But,
yeah, it's kind of funny how they're blue balling us, but showing us only, like, a couple of 5-second clips and now nothing.
Yeah.
I think it's just because they're rushing now. It's like, crap, we've got to pump this thing out quickly.
Maybe that's the only clip they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, all they had was an animation test. They didn't get around to actually working on the show yet.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about it. It looks so generic and empty at this point, so I'm not too much hope. But at least the animation is great, so that's something.
Yeah.
The animation is fantastic. It's probably the best animation Sonic has ever had.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the new voices.
Oh yeah. The new guy voicing Sonic, he's doing a spectacular job so far. As a lot of people have pointed out, he sounds like a weird mix of Ryan, Jason, and Roger, which is amazing. It just sounds really good.
Yeah, I like the new voice. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the show.
Yeah. Underrated Canadian voice actors.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as for me, I don't know. It's like, I feel like I'm kind of mixed about it. Like, on one hand, I'm hoping that this show will be, like, you know, good and go with the whole, like, oh, traveling through different dimensions and whatnot, and, you know, have it be a character piece, you know. It's kind of like some of the older cartoons, like Satyam or Sonic X, or maybe. And then on the other hand, I'm kind of fearful, like, oh, you know, I just... That's my only fear with this show. I just hope that it doesn't become like, you know, like what happened the last time Sonic got a TV show with Sonic Boom and yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, I have to say, at this point, I'm more interested in Sonic CTM Season 3 than this one. But yeah, that's kind of cheating, because we don't know anything about this show yet.
Yeah, of course, I am a little doubtful with Season 3 Sonic Satyam, because, I don't know, it seems like over the years, there always seems to be some kind of this weird curse that whenever someone tries to do like a Sonic Satyam Season 3 continuation, fan-made, there always seems to be a curse, like, oh, there's drama going on, there's backlash, there's yada yada, and apparently there already is a little bit of that, or at least someone told me about, like, oh, Louis the Hedgehog, this infamous, troll back then that once tried to start an all-out war against Sega for not liking Sonic Satyam, so apparently he's doing some kind of scamming thing, I don't know, it's just a small tidbit I heard.
Yeah, there's always a risk with people on the internet, you don't know what you can get.
Yeah, it's kind of like there were attempts to continue Sonic Underground, so they would be finally reunited with their mum. And I think it was supposed to be one of the story arcs for Archie Sonic or Sonic Universe, but it didn't come to fruition.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, that was the original. Yeah, that was the original plan for Archie Sonic, the Sonic Universe issue 50. That was the whole planned idea of like this epilogue to Sonic Underground. Like, yes, finally the show gets to have a proper ending. But then it was shelved in favor of doing, instead, have the story be focused more on Shard, the original Metal Sonic, going up against Metal Sonic now being powered up by a power gem. And then over time, the Sonic Underground epilogue was just scrapped entirely.
Ah, that sucks. Oh well. But yeah, I guess we'll get to Sonic Underground at some point in this stream as well.
Yeah, so and we can finally
Looking
hear
forward to
Roger's
that.
thoughts. Yeah, especially since Roger's never seen the show before, or at least properly seen the show.
Yep, but alas, we still have a lot of Sonic X to go, and yet again, we're not doing it, so it's taking forever like this. Sorry, busy week. Busy
Yeah,
week.
Maybe next time?
Yep, I hope so.
yeah, maybe I'll help. Maybe I'll help get a new thumbnail, because like the thumbnail I made for this was intended for the Sonic X episodes, but we didn't do it. It's like, oh well, I'm sure I can think of something else, because doing like cute, wholesome stuff is kind of more my thing, especially when it comes to cream and vanilla. You know.
Oh, that makes this episode a bit clickbaity for all the Cream of Vanilla fans. It's like, oh, they're gonna talk about them. Go watch our Easter special. We did talk about Cream of Vanilla there.
Yeah.
Not in this one. Sorry, ladies. And maybe next time if we finally get back to Sonic X, yeah. Anyway, is anyone something else to say, or shall I just show off what I finished with Sonic Movie Dissected so far?
I do have a bit of a quick plug-in.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
So, alright, so like, recently I just got done posting a video of like voice clips from the game American McGee's Grimm, which I think I brought that up in more earlier streams, where back then I was uploading the game's soundtrack because no one else has bothered doing it. So nowadays I'm going through the effort of recording all the voice clips of the characters, since no one else is also doing that too. So it is kind of sad because like nowadays the game's been removed from Steam. Apparently there's some conflict between American McGee and EA over games that were made by Spicy Horse. But yeah, it's a very long process. I just got done posting all the lines, the main lines from Grimm himself from Season 1. So yeah, so one down and a whole bunch more to go, which is just listening to Roger L. Jackson doing all these different voices.
Oh, really? The voice of Mojo Jojo does these voices? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Roger L. Jackson does the voice of like every character in American McGee's Grimm.
Even Alice?
What?
You said every voice. So.
Oh.
I remember Alice also talking.
No, he wasn't in No, he didn't voice Alice in American McGee's Alice. Although he did voice the Cheshire Cat in that game, as well as the Jabberwock.
There we go. Hey, yeah, right now on the screen I have a picture of Melting Man and his sister again.
Well, yeah. Although that's from Alice, while I was talking more about Grimm. Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, wrong game, Roger.
I'm not in a good state today, it seems.
Yeah. You should have
but
helped
yeah.
him, Melton.
But yeah,
like
just
it.
But yeah, video's up just if you want to hear Roger L. Jackson do his voice of Grimm, the disgruntled dwarf turning fairy tales happy-go-lucky back to their dark and gritty origins, yeah.
My brain is not on right today. Most days. Oh, well.
I feel sorry for Sylvia.
Yep, there's the game, yep.
Anyone else has something to plug? I guess not.
Alright.
Alright, then I'll just play what I finished for Sonic Movie Dissected for a while. It will take about 20 minutes, I guess, and then we'll just end this episode. So if any of our guests wants to leave now, because it's late and tired, then go ahead, I suppose. There's not much talking
Alright.
anymore.
See y'all in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. Bye, Captain. All right.
So begins the sneak peek.
Yep.
Warning! These are spoilers.
Well then, lads, let's talk some Sonic Movie 2.
Yes! Sonic the Movie 2 is out! For months, this video is late. Oh, goodness gracious. It has Sonic's friends in it! And they're doing cool things! And big epic events! Oh no, the humanity! This movie must be a huge flop! No, it is the most successful video game movie ever, huh? Well, except for Warcraft. Damn you, Warcraft! Nah, Warcraft is cool. You can have it, buddy. So people do like it, despite Sonic and Friends doing cool things. Huh, who'd have thought? Not Sega. Ah, yeah, Sonic the Movie 2. I freaking loved it. This is a Sonic movie. It has energy. God, I've missed energy with Sonic. Not everyone standing around like a sack of potatoes saying dumb jokes or soulless exposition. No, honest to God, energy. I don't know what genius thought a series about a hyperactive blue hedgehog battling robots must have the energy of bingo night with grandma, but good grief, I'm glad we finally have something with a little spunk again. I described it to a friend of mine as Sonic Adventure Light. The only thing really missing to hit that high is the music. I mean, the music is okay, but it ain't heart-pounding, epic, larger-than-life Crush 40 music, or other amazing tracks. Instead, it's more, the usual generic pop music again.
There wasn't a lot of music and themes that stood out for me, really. Hearing the Sega theme at the beginning gave me chills, and I liked the rocking theme of Walk by Pantera, which I wish was a bit longer. There was also the new songs by Stefan Ligar and Kid Cudi, which were alright, I guess. It's a bit odd they use rap music, as I feel Sonic is more associated with rock. It is a shame they didn't have Crush 40 create a new song just for the movie. Also, I think a friend of mine told me you could barely hear the Sonic drowning theme as Sonic was drowning.
Yeah, missed opportunity. Although I appreciated Uptown Funk showing up. At least that isn't another slow rap song or whatever. Seriously, who keeps associating Sonic with rap? Techno, funk, rock, epic orchestra? Those! Anything but rap. Come on. It's Knuckles' domain, if anything.
Personally, I think Tricky by Run DMC was a good choice for the police chase scene at the beginning. It's not really a fast song, but it does have some infectious energy to it. Still, the lack of Crush 40 was really disappointing. Here's hoping for Sonic 3. Oh, and also Barracuda by Heart during the surprisingly awesome Rachel's Revenge scene was a welcome addition to the soundtrack. That's more the kind of music we're hoping for.
Sure, but we're going a bit of off-topic. Back to our general thoughts of the movie.
I rather enjoyed the movie. Much better than the previous one, and felt more like a proper Sonic movie. This is what we should have gotten 2 years ago, so I guess the first one was more of a stepping stone towards a proper Sonic adaptation.
Yeah, that's the problem with live-action movies. Cartoons can go completely nuts with their world, but realistic movies always have to relate everything back to the mundane world, or otherwise Joe Sixpack's brain explodes, I guess. Yet, despite having quite a few animated video game movies that did a good job, I thought, they never seem to count as video game movies somehow. I guess there's just something about live action that makes it count more or something. Which makes me curious what's going to happen with Super Mario.
It'll be interesting to see how Nintendo and Illumination can pull off their Mario movie, and if Genesis does what Nintendo don't when making movies.
The infamously hit-or-miss casting aside, one problem I foresee with the Mario movies is how much they're trying to cram into it. The Sonic series is often criticized for having too many characters, but between the two movies, we've seen 4 Sonic characters with a glimpse of a 5th. Meanwhile, the Mario movie doesn't even have a trailer, and there's already 9 confirmed established characters, which means they're probably either going to rush through introducing all of them, or won't introduce them at all and just assume everyone is already familiar with Foreman Spike.
My favorite character! Well, like I said, animated movies can immediately get to the point with all the crazy stuff, where live-action movies have to spend half their running time first reminding us what the normal world looks like. So, Foreman Spike is just Mario's boss at work, and boom! Introduced without needing much additional information. Kinda like if the generic townsfolk in the Sonic movie were already established characters from Sonic. I mean, in case of Commander Walters, Olive Garden guy, he could say he already is, so there you go. Legacy character introduced, without much hassle. But yeah, back to Sonic.
Regarding the graphics, it's amazing how adorable Sonic, Tails and Knuckles now look. They have come so far since we first saw movie Sonic as a horrible monstrosity, and how close it would have bombed. I love how Sonic is still portrayed as an awkward kid who doesn't know exactly what's going on, and says some pretty funny stuff. It makes me wish Sonic has this kind of personality in the games and comics.
It's the only time the cast is ever actually written young. In the games, their age is completely irrelevant. Although the movie does write him a little too young, I think. They're supposed to be 15. Then again, I suppose with their weird upbringing and since they have alien brains, I guess they mature differently than normal teens.
One thing I do find annoying is that being at its live action, it had to remind us there are human characters in a Sonic X kind of way. But I don't find Tom as annoying as Chris, as he's like a lovable dad who's looking out for his kid. But there are scenes set at the wedding that keeps interrupting the flow of the story. Sonic and Tails do something interesting, and then someone flips the channel to a rom-com set at an island wedding. And then we had 10 minutes of Rachel going gung-ho on gun agents and her boyfriend. I had to remind myself that I was watching a Sonic movie. But after that, it was pure Sonic.
The wedding scene is interesting. I was anticipating it to be the worst scene in the movie, but the gun twist suddenly flipped it around, and now it's my all-time favorite scene of the movie. But we'll get into that later.
I would say this is a movie all Sonic fans will enjoy, and I'm in no rush waiting for Sonic 3, as this movie fulfilled everything I wanted to see in a Sonic movie.
There you go! Those were our general thoughts on the movie! Well, the movie's out for a while now, a very while, so time we dive in a little deeper. This is Sonic Dissected after all, so I wanted to discuss several topics one by one, a little more in depth. We got a few guests popping up here and there to give their thoughts on some topics as well. Although, in general, everyone involved in this video liked the movie. So, it's not very balanced, I suppose. I have seen a few negative reviews, like, poor Arlo's infamous one. So, we'll go over some of the problems as well. I mean, I love the movie, but that's not because I think it's flawless or I disagree with the complaints the movie has. Just like with many of the Sonic games, like Sonic Adventure 2, I don't like it because it's perfect. I like it because a few of the things included are so amazing that I just don't really care about the flaws anymore and just love it for the sheer balls and creativity it sometimes has. But yeah, let's just get into it. So, without further ado, general plot.
Whilst the first movie was a typical alien buddy movie which you've seen hundreds of times,
yeah.
This is more of an adventure movie focusing purely on Sonic and friends, where they must find the Master Emerald whilst being pursued by Robotnik and the Echidna warrior Knuckles. This carries over from a plot point in the first movie why the Echidnas were after Sonic and why he was sent to Earth. However, it doesn't explain how these characters obtained their powers, like were they born with it? How did Sonic end up in Longclaw's care? Also, you got the theme that Sonic is still trying to learn how to use his powers and relying on others to help him in a with great power comes great responsibility kind of way.
Which I like. They leave details open for the sequels, but without in a way where it feels like sequel baiting, just extra areas left open for exploration. Better way for later movies to go and expand on these events without it feeling like clumsy retcons.
I'm glad the Owl vs Echidna thing is expanded upon. I mean, it was to be expected with Knuckles showing up, but yeah, they're clearly building some history and lore up. The movie doesn't go in too deep into it, which is good. Keep the focus on the action and leave something for the sequels to explore. Makes it the first time in which a Sonic spin-off really has its own universe and unique elements to itself, like Sonic Sat.AM and Underground had a long time ago. Rather than feel like it's anchors at the game lore, while still keeping the same general elements and energy we want out of the series. So it isn't like Sonic Boom that completely exists in its own pocket dimension.
For some reason, I see a lot of people say this movie has the plot of Sonic 2 and 3. What, just because the final boss of Sonic 2 shows up, and then that makes it a Sonic 2 adaptation? The movie is really its own thing, and other than Tails and Knuckles meeting Sonic for the first time and a Death Egg robot and Master Emerald showing up, it's disconnected from the games. Besides, personally, I don't even associate Sonic 2 with Sonic and Tails meeting for the first time, since their actual first meeting isn't really shown in game. I mean, I guess Sonic Origins does, but the original is just, there's Tails. For all I know, they already knew each other for years, and Tails just wasn't there in the first game because he had something else to do. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, not that that's a bad thing. Heck, it's a good thing. Let the movie have its own universe. I prefer it when other Sonic media go off in their own merry way instead of being shackled with the mess that the actual Sonic games canon is supposed to be at this point. It has a lot more direct elements from the game's taken than Sonic's ATM ever did, and it actually properly gives context and history to the characters and items used, unlike Sonic Boom, yet it has enough of its own ideas and concepts that it doesn't just feel like a watered-down version of the games, like Sonic X was. So, in a way, it's better than those other media. Well, honestly, I still prefer Sonic's ATM over this, but that's probably nostalgia talking. But yeah, I like it.
This movie rocks.
Whoa! It's Alex, my old animation partner from Evil Doc. How are you?
This is what I'm talking about. Explosion, action, superhero shit, gun soldiers being macho guys doing crazy stuff. Finally a piece of Sonic media that I'm not embarrassed about. Hell, I even went there with a bunch of 30-something without any remorse.
Yeah? Did they enjoy the movie?
For the most part, yes. They did say the movie felt a little bit childish though compared to the first one. I was a bit surprised since I personally found the sequel immensely superior.
Childish.
Well, it is a movie about a cartoon hedgehog, I suppose.
Nah, it's more... Okay, in the first movie, Sonic's basically a functioning adult. He lives on his own, he gets his own food, learns the language. When him and Tom travel together, they do dude stuff, like going to a bar, etc., etc. He's basically a kid in age, but acts like a grown-up. The same can be applied to most Sonic characters in general, even in the games and most of the show. They are acting like young adults that are independent. Even confronted to a family dynamic, Sonic has always been used as the surrogate adult or big brother. He's basically the model. But in the second movies, it's different. They treat him more like a kid. I agree with that, it's true. With Daddy Tom having to teach him about responsibilities.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely the difference between the Sonic movie and Sonic before. He's a lot less independent than Big Brother or even fatherly, and now he's really the kid. Which on one hand is kind of cool, on the other hand, yeah, it does make the movie feel more kiddie, I suppose. I mean, the first movie built up to that, and besides, responsibility is not something you learn from living as a Tarzan boy on an island planet. Getting food and learning how to adapt to the new world is stuff you learn to survive, but responsibility isn't as direct as that. That's more of an advanced skill set you learn when you're more integrated into society. So it does make sense that Sonic doesn't have much of a sense of responsibility yet. He does need a good old dad to teach you that. Yeah, that's true. That's definitely the difference between the Sonic movie and Sonic before. He's a lot less independent than Big Brother or even fatherly, and now he's really the kid. Which on one hand is kind of cool, on the other hand, yeah, it does make the movie feel more kiddie, I suppose. I mean, the first movie built up to that, and besides, responsibility is not something you learn from living as a Tarzan boy on an island planet. Getting food and learning how to adapt to the new world is stuff you learn to survive, but responsibility isn't as direct as that. That's more of an advanced skill set you learn when you're more integrated into society. So it does make sense that Sonic doesn't have much of a sense of responsibility yet. He does need a good old dad to teach you that.
I'm not that much bothered by it because there's not a huge emphasis on that stuff, and I feel that we are still dealing with the origin story of the SCU. I just hope they will drop that stuff for the top-tier Sonic content coming for the third movie. I think it's time for the Hedgehog's balls to drop. On the other hand, I forced my cousin to go watch the movie, and he did like the new relationship between Tom and Sonic because, in a storytelling point of view, it felt less awkward than the first movie, where Tom was supposedly a bro but acted like a dad. Now at least it's clear.
Yeah, in the first movie, Tom never really had a chance to think about what was going on, what his part in this adventure was. He was just kind of dragged along with the adventure and had to deal with situations as they came, just motivated by his vague desire to do something heroic. In this new movie, he had more time to settle into a specific role for Sonic, so as his dad, basically, yeah.
And his self-respecting hero has a code of honor from the parental figure.
And Tom didn't even have to die for it. He's doing a much better job than Bruce Wayne's parents or Uncle Ben.
But yeah, the family stuff. It's the reason why I was kind of dreading the wedding scene at the beginning. That seemed where all the family stuff, kids movie plotting was headed. Great, Sonic will get a lecture for messing up the house. Tom's getting lectured for being irresponsible by Rachel and Randall, causing stress and breakup, just like an Eddie Kids movie. All kids movies always have the scene where the main characters lie at something or get caught and everyone hates each other and the whole movie sucks. And it sucks all the energy out of the movie. I hate it. But it didn't happen. Thank goodness for Gun being involved.
And in the end, Sonic doesn't learn by getting lectured. He learns by watching his buddy Tails being in danger. It's way more closer to the character to learn with action, and it's keeping the pace of the action story. Closer to a superhero movie rather than a kid movie.
I think the whole family stuff was a decent way to put heart into the movie and keep the characters grounded. Tom and Maddie being good parents is what kept Sonic from losing himself in the powers of the Chaos Emeralds.
But what I really want to talk about is the tone and energy of the movies. I started losing interest in Sonic the past decade because it was a shame of itself. It closed itself from what made Sonic fun to begin with. No more cool friends, no more epic adventures, no more edge.
Just self-deprecation and clumsy attempts to recapture the past, while lacking in ambition to make the new stuff stand out, yes.
But this movie, it celebrates Sonic. Big robots, action, speed, cool new character, lore, background, great use of the game elements, but also interesting new stuff. This is what I've been waiting for so long. The only missing part of the puzzle is to bring the edge back, and I am pretty much optimistic it's gonna happen since Paramount seems to want to grow up with their audience. Plus, Rouge the Bat has a huge chance to be around in the third movie.
Right, and I think that's the main reason why Sonic fans love this movie. Or at least Sonic fans like me, who've become more bitter and irritated since Sonic Free Riders and onward turned the series into a never-ending shitty stand-up comedian routine. All despite this movie's flaws. Plot holes, weird human focus, some kiddie family stuff, it's all peanuts. The fact that we get this big piece of Sonic media that's just bursting with Sonic energy, jumping off buildings, flying, robots, it's just refreshing bursts of enthusiastic energy after Sonic has been so restrained and clumsy and awkward and just for a decade. As much as modern Sonic and Boom Sonic and all that feel embarrassed and ashamed of Sonic's past, or above it, and when they try to recapture it, it's always in this dumbass, superficial, surface-level way that doesn't understand the underlying soul. The movie just crushes it. And I think that's the main thing that sets people like me apart from, say, poor Arlo. He doesn't come from that perspective. From his perspective, Sonic's always been a happy, colorful platformer, and there's nothing wrong with it. And Sonic Colors is just this great, fluffy Nintendo platformer, and it's always been cheerful and happy, and animals, and up. Just a generic Nintendo franchise like any other. And now this movie is doing all these weird things with the military and weird weddings. Now to me that stuff makes sense. That's the Sega I know and love. Sexy cars, beaches, badass dudes, tongue-in-cheek humor but still with a legit desire to give us a badass adventure. That's Sega.
And it's a huge success. After we've been told that cool friends and humans and badass action is bad for Sonic and he should just be a self-hating fluffy cartoon for babies. The Color Sonic is dying a slow, painful death. And Adventure Sonic is setting the box office on fire. It feels so good to be vindicated.
Now only the Merry movie will represent that exact kind of lazy, self-deprecating, infantile energy of Color Sonic. And then for the box office, our victory will be complete.
Yes.
You two are loonies.
Yeah, moving on to the stuff everyone wants to talk about. Tails and Knuckles. Because, hey, Tails, he's cuddly, he's adorable.
I really like how Tails is portrayed in the movie, voiced by Colleen O'Shog. Just Colleen. I was a bit
Also, can I say that the creators had no right to make Tails as cute as they did? I mean, seriously.
Okay, let's do it one by one.
I think Tails is a character that's actually pretty hard to get right, since most versions of Tails are probably more bad than good, to be honest. He's actually pretty great in this movie. I mean, he's clearly a fanboy of Sonic without being a simp. And he and Sonic feel like real friends, which is he's useful and resourceful and smart, with all his gadgets like Q from James Bond, but without being a Marty Sue like he is in some of the Pontef games. And he also manages to be genuinely vulnerable, but without being a Bella Swan-esque damsel in distress. And I must give points to the films for having Tails carry Sonic, I've not seen any official Sonic media do that in years, and that's something I always thought was quite cool in the games and earlier cartoons.
Yeah, very good point. In fact, while we're watching Sonic X, I'm deliberately kind of paying attention when they actually bother animating Tails flying, which is extremely rare. Most media tend to forget he can fly, yeah. Because, he's completely stuck in his tech wizard building things mode for now. His actual natural abilities are irrelevant, I guess.
Hello, Elise Lowing here. I'd like to talk about the movie's main trio, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Before I start, I wanted to recommend 2 Sonic movie videos by a YouTuber named Filmento, How to Break the Video Game Movie Curse. He goes into detail about how both movies utilize their video game elements in a cohesive manner for a movie format, as well as why the characters work the way they do. He's very articulate in his assessments and gives a great perspective from a neutral party. I'm bringing him up now because I will be mentioning some things he says in his videos, and I feel like he says them better than I could. Moving on, I think it goes without saying that when it comes to stories, I love great character writing. Great characters can elevate a story. Sonic 1 had great characters and realistic relationships with its small cast. Sonic 2 takes it 2 steps forward and no steps back. Tails and Knuckles in particular have phenomenal characterization, especially for the Sonic community, who have watched both characters degrade in the games over time. But in this movie, with so many great characters and character interactions, I'm not gonna lie, I was smiling like an idiot the whole time. I would say that Tails is a lot like his Sonic Boom counterpart, in that he's a great technician and is knowledgeable. Outside of that, he has a hint of his Adventure 1 self, where he still has some personal issues to overcome, particularly when it comes to self-confidence. I feel his arc wasn't concluded in this movie, but it was a good introduction to it, and it will most likely be one of the themes in the next one.
Really? I thought it was interesting what they did with Tails' backstory. Oops, maybe I should actually introduce myself. I'm Aaron from Sonic Innovation, and Tails is my favorite Sonic character. And it stands as the worst decision I've ever made. Until now, that is. The movie's great, but not perfect. But yeah, Tails' backstory. I'm confused about how Tails was able to watch the first Sonic movie with us, but the fact that he does so is pretty clever. The child audience for the movie will definitely have seen the first one and come back for the second one. Tails has been an audience surrogate for a while, so his backstory reflects this. He's a Sonic fan in the most literal sense now. Add the bullying backstory and we have an organic way for Tails to grow attached to Sonic. He's surprisingly in character throughout the whole thing. He's quick to blame himself, thinks on his feet, shows some naivete, wants to help all he can, and commits Grand Theft Auto. Wait, what? Anywho, he's not perfect. Sonic and Tails are fast friends in this, get it? And that leaves his character arc hanging. I would have liked another scene or two. That or don't have it be knocked out for a giant chunk of his screen time. Tails is mostly there in service of Sonic's responsibility character arc. Tails could have sustained an injury that would temporarily make him unable to help. He would be awake to try and stop Sonic from going alone, but I think this is the extra scene he needed. While Sonic is beating himself up, Tails tries to tell him that even if he's screwed up, he can fix it with some help. That's what he learned in the Siberian cabin scene, the same scene when he realized he's not alone anymore. Just have it so Sonic doesn't listen.
Also, can I say that the creators had no right to make Tails as cute as they did? I mean, seriously, the way he's portrayed in this movie could cause someone to die from cuteness overload. Colleen O'Shaughnessy brought her A game with his voice, and I would go as far as to say that this is her best performance so far. Don't get me wrong, she was a great fit for Tails from the start, but you could tell that she gave it her all in the movie. And she is another example of how these movies are for the fans. Instead of getting a high-profile celebrity to do Tails, they got the current voice actress that the fans know and love, someone who knows the character inside and out. And Tails' friendship with Sonic has a unique spin, if you'll pardon my pun.
Additionally, isn't it a little strange that Sonic doesn't apologize to Tails for him getting hurt? He realizes that his friends and family are there to help now, I get that, but Tails wasn't there for the conversation between him and Knuckles. Would it be too much to ask for Tails to land the plane when he arrives and have a little closure? I understand he's mostly there to be in service of Sonic's arc, but he is a character in his own right, and it wouldn't take much to make the best Tails in years. Boom still beats out the Sonic movie on that one. I'm not going to complain too much. Tails is my favorite character in the franchise, but my least favorite character in Lost World and Forces. Sonic Boom is far from perfect, but its franchise is home to the best version of post-adventure Tails. He's been mistreated over and over again, much like his backstory. I was terrified they were going to make him into an exposition machine while all the screen time went to Knuckles. That's kind of what happened, I suppose, but they gave us a heartfelt, genuine origin to his friendship with Sonic. They really seem like surrogate brothers now. It's the cutest thing in the world, and he's the cutest thing in the world. This is unironically my favorite Tails design. Overall, they did great, but there's still room for improvement. Maybe we can get that character arc finished in Sonic 3? Fingers crossed.
Alright, and that was the horrible preview. As you noticed in the end, my brain kind of broke down, because, man, it takes forever to make these things. And I kind of lost motivation, so I'm still barely halfway. I'm starting to lose motivation working on this.
I suppose you wish I was helping you out like I did with Sonic 1 Dissected.
Yeah, pretty much. However, I can't do that to you because I still have to puzzle all the audio together because everyone just sent in their lines independently, so I still have to figure all that out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will repeat the same points and all that, so this is a horrible nightmare. I regret everything I did. But yeah, what?
Well, I could try and help out, like piece all the audio together into just this one long MP3 track or whatnot.
That'd be nice. Thanks.
Yeah. I would just need like a script so I know, like, okay, this character says this thing first, and then this character, and yada yada. Because
I'm not even sure if it's really worth all the bother, because I think I'm too negative and whine too much, and everyone's kind of making... Is everyone still interested in a full-blown Sonic movie discussion? Was this an interesting video so far?
Yeah, it's been good, yeah. It's been good.
Yes, it's just like talking negative stuff, yeah. Well, at least so far you haven't gone to jail yet, like what happened last time.
That's true. I'm not as negative as the last time. Last time I tried too desperately to be funny, which I'm kind of dropping now.
Because sometimes just being yourself is more funnier than just forcing it.
Fair enough. Last time I was unfocused.
Yeah, that's what I pretty much do with my Forgotten Media videos. I just, talk more casually, just be myself, throw in a gags here and there, and not, be like other, reviewers trying to, oh, gotta do this wacky voice, or another issue I've seen is that some reviewers tend to focus a little too much on doing, the comedy skits and jokes, rather than actually review the topic they're talking about.
Yeah, that's always a bit of a bother. Oh, well, everyone trying their own thing, but yeah, I wasn't too motivated with this. But yeah, with all those guests involved, I feel responsible to still see it to the end. So, But I think I kind of over-edited it first. So if I'm going to continue, I'm probably going to change it more into the very basic, simplistic editing of the last part. Because, man, it's just way too much. Like I said, I'm not even halfway through all the text. So this is easily going to be like another hour, 90-minute video again.
Oh, well. Giving you a head pat, Roger, for encouragement.
There you go.
All the head pats.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. I didn't ask you and if he wanted to join in. I keep forgetting about him. So replace those head pats with head punches.
In the vain hope that maybe I would knock you out unconscious and you won't have to do this.
Yes, exactly. I don't have an excuse.
Oh well. Next time I visit you, I'll make sure I'll do that.
Looking forward to that. Getting a big beat down. As soon as he gets off the train, Roger, get over here.
Yeah,
get over here.
Just walking over to you, he's like, hello you, and how you doing? There you go, Roger. But the problem is then I'd have to drag you all the way back to your house.
Or not, just throw me in front of the train tracks.
No, I'll just throw you back on. No, I'll just throw you on the train, and then when you come to, you'll just realise.
No, the one that throws you off the train.
No, just carry him in a wheelbarrow.
Very big wheelbarrow. Yeah, good times. But yeah, anyway, thanks for the voice actors and guests helping me out. But yeah, I still have a lot of work to do. So we'll see. Maybe I'll accept more help.
Just never a problem to ask.
That's true. Like a lot of people, at least also offered to help. Just that I don't really know how to formulate help or how to... I mean, you have to cut this project into pieces. Like, what specific task can I give people? So because it's such a big, messy process right now. We'll see what happens. We'll see if people find it even interesting or not. But yeah, that's the Sonic movie Dissected 2 so far. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought about it.
Yeah.
So now we can still fix things.
and get like immediate feedback from what people thought, if they decide to.
Yeah.
Indeed. Alrighty, then I guess this stream today is over at this point, unless someone else wants to say something. You got something to shill, Ewan? You got something you want to shill?
No, not today.
Luke, you have something to shill?
Not on me, no.
Alrighty, then I guess we're finished. Well, thank you guys for joining me once again.
No worries.
Yeah, no problem.
And yeah, see you guys next time. Jello, thanks for the compliments. And till next time, yes. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, friends.
You're following in for the captain.
Yeah.
Cheerio!
Goodbye.
Goodbye.